Charlie Papa, moi Papa, oh. Charlie Papa, moi aïe. Charlie Papa, moi Papa, oh. Charlie Papa, moi aïe. If I am a Mara, make I was no one what you ready. But if I am a Mara, make I was no Tamono take, Tamono go. Up at Zio, take a home, make a I say, Jana, I say, you're at your phone.
We, the Biafrans, reject global conspiracy against the Biafran people. This woman uses media to demand unconditional release of the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, Simon Ekpa, who the Finland authorities have held incommunicado for long time. They say they are investigating, and it's been months up to now. No charge has been brought against the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra. They hereby demand immediate release, unconditional release of Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. The global conspiracy against the Biafrans is unacceptable. We will never, ever accept it. It doesn't matter how you try to paint it, the whole world is watching it. And it is sad that the world is silent watching the atrocities committed against the Biafran people. Simon Ekpa is only asking for the freedom of the people. He's only defending his own people, trying to save the innocent life. Free Simon Ekpa now.
This is like a food shower. This is too body brand. I mean, they tell you a story. About the one that they get. Money they go to work. Money they work for bank. When I end up for motor. Wherever they go. Opposite booty. But they are behind the side. Among the super road. I see people run. I see people run. Then I say, and I'm waiting they happen. And I'm waiting they happen. And I'm getting money by. See no day for that. See no day for that. If better you take your irons. Then I call the driver. Driver waiting. Driver waiting. go for show. You think you body brand, body brand. I mean, they tell you a story about the one lady girl. Body they go to work, body they work for bank. When I end up for motor, wherever they go, wherever they go. Opposite good, but they're not behind the side. Along the Sukuru Road, I see people run.
This one must not be. This is I don't know what is right. That was very exactly. So this one shocked me. Look, he shocked me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very evening program. Thank you for joining wherever you are joining from. Like and share the program. Share to family and friends. Share to your neighbors. Share to everyone that is close to you. Try as much as possible to reach others so that they can join us for this very evening program. It is a very interesting one. It is a very important one. We like not just to be hearing bad news. Sometimes we like to hear good news of encouragement. And this evening, we have a good news of encouragement. We have a good news of encouragement. So wherever you are watching from, don't watch alone. Share the program and allow somebody to join you and watch. Invite people from all corners, Biafrans, lovers of Biafrans, haters of Biafrans, those that have different opinion. Invite them this evening. We have come to see it the way it is. Join us on this evening program. Let us pass the message as quick as we can because it is important. In our evening program, it is not like that of the morning time. In the evening, we make it sketchy and we go to other issues. This evening, we give you the update on Mazi Simon Ekpa, and after the update on Mazi Simon Ekpa, we will go to Nigerian media to see the debate that is coming from Nigerian media and look into what is happening in the case of Mazi Nnamdi. These are the two important issues that are bothering us as Biafrans. Wherever you are as a Biafran, whatever concerns Mazi Nnamdi concerns you, whatever concerns Mazi Simon concerns you. You can continue to pretend, but I bet you cannot pretend for too long. Those who have been pretending that it doesn't concern them today, many of them have realized their mistake and they are coming back. It is becoming more clear every day. There is no solution in Nigeria except exit. The only solution in Nigeria remains exit. There is nothing else anybody can say anywhere. There is nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say. The only thing that you can say, that we can say, is exit from the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. So wherever you are watching us this evening, I welcome you to this program and I urge you to kindly like and share this program so that we will do what we need to do as Biafrans. We will continue to pass our message across. We will continue to reach out to people that need to be reached out and make sure that those who are not being informed are getting informed. We will make sure that the information that has to do with Biafra gets to everybody. We cannot withhold anything. Every information must be made to go out there in the public. Every information must be made to reach all the Biafran people. We can't hide anyone, and we make sure we carry everybody along. It is very important. Carrying every Biafra along is very important. That is why we are in the media. And making sure that the right information is being shared. Very important. Make sure that the right information is out there. We do not want to engage in any propaganda. We are not interested in engaging in any blackmail. We don't want to engage in any sort of information that is unfounded. What we are concerned about is the right information, saying the right words, doing the right thing, and making the Biafrans to know the obvious. So this evening, we got an update this evening that we are going to share. Remember what transpired in the morning. In the morning program, I told you clearly that today court is going to be in a closed door. And that was exactly what happened. Today's court was a closed door. So if anybody is telling you anything apart from that, you need to be very careful what you're listening to. Today is a closed door. But we were so lucky that some Biafrans were able to meet with Master Simon Ekpa. Even with all the announcement of closed door, to show you the determination of Biafran people, Biafrans still go there. They went there and they stood beside Master Simon Ekpa and they made sure that they supported him. And when the Finnish authorities saw that our people were around, they still gave our Prime Minister an opportunity to meet with our people. And Master Simon Ekpa and Joko delivered a sound message. One thing I love Master Simon Ekpa is that he's always in point. The picture you are seeing here was taken today in the court. In as much as it's an inside court, as for what transpired inside the court, none of us can explain. Nobody knows. As I told you, today is completely a closed door meeting. But because Biafrans from far and wide still came around, Biafrans still came around in solidarity with Mazi Simon Ekpa, our Prime Minister. The Finland authorities saw it necessary to allow him to meet with people. They know that this man is the leader. Is a man who was voted in with the vote of more than 50 million Biafrans that gave him the right to do what he's doing. So they gave him the opportunity to meet with Biafrans. And he was able to meet Biafrans. They took pictures, they took videos, and it was amazing. This picture you are seeing was what transpired today. And the most interesting one is that Mazi Simon Ekpa was able to deliver a message to the Biafrans today. To deliver a message to Nigerian government. A message directly to Nigerian government. Like yesterday, that was a message. But today one is much more clearer than you can ever imagine. Very, very clear message. And the way he spoke and his tone gave every single Biafran a confidence to continue to do what we are doing. Every Biafran that watched that program, no matter how disorganized you have been, no matter how discouraged you have been, when you watch, many of you must have seen the video I'm talking about, but I'm still going to play it. Many of you must have seen the video because it is going viral everywhere. It is going viral, and that is the right thing. The Biafrans are doing very well when it comes to media. I know we can be crazy sometimes, but when it comes to the media, promoting the event. Biafrans, we are doing excellently well, and I urge everyone to continue on that path. Continue to spread the message. Continue to spread the gospel. It is very, very important. That is what you and I are supposed to do. To carry the message to those who need to hear, to make sure that the entire world begin to pay attention to what is happening to us. Nobody is going to carry our message. Nigerian government will not carry it. International media will not carry it. The conventional media will not pay attention. Do you see how they are pretending? Nigerian media, they are pretending as if they don't know that the case of Mazi Samake is going on. They pretend. But let them hear any negative thing. Let them hear any propaganda. Let them hear something that looks to be against Mazi Samake. You see them, every one of them will carry it. If you think they're not following this event, they are following this court. But they are waiting to hear a negative thing. Any day there is a negative news, you will see all the media that will come out. But they are going to wait until their kingdom come. Because that negative news that they are waiting for, they will never, ever, ever get it. Not in this case of Mazi Simon Ekpa, because our Prime Minister is innocent. Very, very innocent. So let us watch some few videos that came out today, this afternoon, from the court in Finland. Some Biafrans were there, as I told you. Even tomorrow, some people are still going to just stay outside the court, be watching around at the court in case if there is any need for anything. So when they saw my Biafrans were there today, they just allowed my Simon Ekpa to come and meet with them. And tomorrow, Biafrans are still going to be there. So it is very important. And he delivered a message today, mainly to Nigerian government. Share this video, make it go viral so that Nigerian government will get the message. And that is why I'm happy that people are sharing it. Let the Nigerian government get the message and get it clear. They must get the message, whether they like it or not. They must get the message. And that is why we have come back this evening to show what transpired, what happened today. As many Biafrans were still there outside, even though they know they cannot go into the court, but they were still hanging around in solidarity for Mazi Simon Ekpa. I appreciate every one of them. Every one of the people that went there, I adopt my card for all of you. I appreciate all of you that went there to meet with Mazi Simon Ekpa. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect all of you. May Chukwu Okike Abiama grant all of us. May Chukwu Okike Abiama lead you back to your destinations when you are going back. And may Chukwu Okike Abiama give us Biafra. Let us watch these few videos that came out today. This is today's court. Let us watch these few videos. Many of you have seen it, but let us still watch it and then look through it and see what actually transpired today.
Let me say something. Biafrans, please, this is our Prime Minister. We came here, we are not allowed to come in, but they just surprised us. Honestly, and we appreciate. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes.
The government are the one responsible for the killing of our people.
Yes, we all know that.
I am here because of the life of my people.
Yes.
And we are not giving up.
Yeah. No, never.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really appreciate, honestly.
That is our able Prime Minister. That is our able Prime Minister. He spoke to Biafran people, and he spoke eloquently as always, with confidence. Very, very confident. And I'm confident that our Prime Minister is going to join us, no matter what the devil may do. Every one of us should continue to make our effort, continue to pray wherever you are. We must continue to pray for our Prime Minister. Continue to wish him well. Continue to pray and wish him well. This is another side of the video. Our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. It was a very amazing and interesting encounter. Very interesting encounter. Very amazing. Did you see what happened there? Do you know that Van gave his camera to the policeman to help them to video? It was the policeman who is supposed to be guiding Mazi Simon Ekpa that was holding the video to help Van to cover for him to appear in the video. Did you see what transpired? Van literally went there and gave his camera to the police officer to help him to video so that he can appear. I want you to watch it again. Watch it again so you can understand. He's talking to the policeman. A policeman is the one recording him. Look at the policeman. He's going back to sit down. He's going back to sit down. Can you see this in Nigeria? Can you imagine you giving a member of a DSS member your phone to help you to cover? Can you ever imagine DSS giving DSS to cover you or snap you picture with Mazi and the camera? Can you ever imagine that? This is the difference between in a civilized country and being in a dead zone. You see the difference between a civilized country and being in a dead zone? Did you hear that? They are not allowed to come into the court. The Biafrans are not allowed to come into the court. But the Finland authorities saw it, they deemed fit to release Mazi Simon Ekpa to come and meet with his people. And even the policeman was there to help them to cover the video. This is what you see in a civilized country. This is what you see. And we are expecting them to expand this their civilization. This understanding, they should extend it to following the rule of law. The rule of law. And allow justice to prevail. Follow the rule of law and allow justice to prevail. That is what we are asking for. And I believe by the special grace of Chukwu, justice will prevail in this case. With what you saw, with what we are seeing, the way they are handling the whole thing, the way they are going through for now. Remember, this is an appeal court, and the international community are looking at it. They know that Mazi Simon Ekpa is innocent. But yet, we are going to be following him closely. Now, let us hear the message of Mazi Simon Ekpa.
I'm very confident that the truth is going to come out. And they will know that the wrong person has been in prison. Nigerian government are the one responsible for the killing of our people.
Absolutely.
And they should be held responsible for that. I am here because of the life of my people.
Yes.
And we are not giving up.
Yes.
No. Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, yes.
Absolutely amazing. The Biafrans were there and they did what they had to do. And we are praying and looking forward to see that our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa will be vindicated. He just said it. A direct message to Nigerian government. A direct message to Nigerian government. They are going to face the consequences of their actions. You see all the security we're following. They just allow him with our people, greetings, pleasantries, and then they go back into the court.
There is power in the tongue. Oh my God! Everybody is so happy now. Everybody is so happy. Time. We said it. Then we finish law. I said there is power in the tongue. Same way they open the gates of Peter to come out. Yes, sir. To come out. Hey, they did. They did.
It was a very interesting outing. Very interesting. This is what happened today. And Biafrans, you see them, Biafrans promise to be there again tomorrow. Biafrans say they are going to be there tomorrow. They are going nowhere. They are going to be there. And I appreciate everyone that has made it to Finland. Every Biafran that participated on this. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide and protect all of you. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to strengthen you. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama replenish you. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama give you all your heart desires. However, you have been able to make expenses up to this level, Chukwu Okike Abiyama will reward you. There is no sacrifice that anybody made for Biafra that is in vain. I assure you. No sacrifice made for Biafra is in vain. Every sacrifice we make for Biafra will be rewarded. Every sacrifice you make for Biafra, you will get the reward. Don't worry, don't bother yourself. As long as your heart is genuine, forget about whatever the people are saying, whatever the people you are doing it with people, whether they are straight or not. As long as your heart is genuine and you are committed, you know what you are doing, that you are doing it from the bottom of your heart. Chukwu Okike Abiyama will never let you down. He will definitely reward you. Definitely, he will reward you. So, my fellow Biafrans, we must continue to support our Prime Minister. Tomorrow is another day. Yesterday was very interesting. As you all know, Mazi Simon Ekpa is facing his case squarely. Do you know that in yesterday's court, when they were laying down the evidence and accusations of Mazi Simon Ekpa, that was yesterday, the foundation was laid. On that foundation, they brought out every single tweet Mazi Simon Ekpa did, all those tweet he did. and he was defending them one after the other. Every single tweet that Mazi Simon Ekpa did has a meaning, has a response. You know, Mazi Simon Ekpa is a lawyer himself. Every single tweet he made was as a reply to what Nigerian government was doing in our land. Every single tweet was to show the world what was going on, the war that Nigerian government is fighting about, the genocide that is happening. And the prosecutors were using those tweets he made as an evidence against him. And Mazi Simon Ekpa was showing them evidence that he was responding to something that was happening in Nigeria. Every single tweet he made was a response to what Nigerian government was doing in Biafra land. And he was laying it down. Every of those tweets, anyone they bring, he will explain it. Anyone they bring, he will bring evidence to back it up. You see the importance of being truthful and faithful and being coordinated. That's why I say you don't just share things because people are sharing. You don't just speak about the issue because people are speaking. Make sure you verify every single information before you dish out that information. It's going to help us a lot. We're supposed to have learned a lesson from the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and case of Mazi Simon Ekpa. Everything you do on social media has an implication. Just as I'm doing my program, as I'm doing my own program, every single thing I say, everything I do has an implication. Call might come tomorrow. Something might happen tomorrow that might require that I have to defend everything I do. That is why in my program, I speak of things that I know. And everything you see me speak about in my program is something I'm very sure of, something I can defend. I don't talk about things that I cannot defend. No, man. You know, I can't get involved in that. And that is why I relaxed back on my independent reportage. I report something I can defend. You can imagine Mazi Simon Ekpa being able to state reasons why he was putting up his every X he was putting on X handle. The reason he was putting those tweets up, what they stand for, and what he was responding to. They also asked him about the many activities that happened in Osumogu and whatever. And he was able to establish everything that was happening in Osumogu connected to Hope Uzodinma. How Hope Uzodinma recruited the Bubago, Asere Dokubo. And there are evidence that confirm that these were the people that carried this activity. Evidence on video. Some of those videos, he has it on his Twitter handle. In some cases in that court, they say sometimes the prosecutor tried to ask him about some things he was posting. Why is he posting the death of people and all this he was posting? And he was asking the prosecutor, you should have gone to the reason why he put the response. He was responding to something. You don't just pull out a Twitter handle. You don't just open a Twitter handle on what he tweeted. Go and look at what he was responding to. And he was able to point out what he was responding to. And he showed them that his tweet was as a response to what Nigerian government was doing and tweeting also. So, this is not a child's play. Biafra actualization is not a child's play. It is not a child's play. It is not something of blackmail and propaganda. No matter what you do, you must be very, very sure of the information you are dishing out. This is very important. I have said about it in the morning and I'm saying it again. More especially those of us in the media. If you are in the media, if you are not sure of something, it is not compulsory you must talk. There's no law that said you must speak. There's no law now that said I must broadcast. Any day I don't have anything to broadcast, I can come here and play music. I come here, play the message of myself, and I go. There are many things to do. I can't come here to forge something and give you, or forge a lie, because tomorrow there might be a need for me to defend what I'm doing. You see Mazi Simon Ekpa in court, defending every single tweet he has made for Biafra. He defended all accurately yesterday. And today, they are going into forensic
debate and exercise and whatever they are doing with all the technical teams of Master Simon Ekpa, doing a very great work. All the lawyers that are working with him, they are doing their job. Today on a closed door. And tomorrow also will also be another closed door. So tomorrow, Biafrans are still going to be there. And if anything happens tomorrow, if they are still able to meet Master Simon Ekpa tomorrow, that would be nice. We are still going to show you. But it is important to know that the Biafrans, many people have gone back. Many Biafrans have gone back to their base. Maybe those of them that have an appointment or have their job, they only took 1 day off and 2 days off. They cannot be able to spend much time. They have gone back to their various base. Many people have gone. And these people you saw here, they are still there. And many of them will still be there tomorrow. And some of them will stay there for as long as the case will last. That is the sacrifice many Biafrans are paying. That is sacrifice people are giving. They give their time, they give their money. And yet, you see, sometimes we stand on our platform, we insult them, we abuse them. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. I know that we have differences. We should always learn how to manage our differences. We must not insult each other. We must not abuse or curse each other. We need to learn how to manage our differences, no matter what our differences might be. There is no law that says we must agree in everything. There is bound to be disagreement in certain areas. We are bound to disagree. But in that disagreement, we should always find a common ground, because me personally, I believe that so many of us, we sincerely want Biafra, but some of us are ignorant on what we are doing, ignorant on what we are believing, ignorant on what we are believing. So why don't we take our time, independently, detach yourself from group, this group, that group. Detach your mind from groupage. Think as an independent person. Think about Biafra independently, so that you can be able to admire your brother. When you see your brother fighting for that same Biafra that you're thinking about, you admire him. It doesn't matter. Wherever there is differences, you iron it out, argue it out without hostility, and everybody will understand each other. Nobody can get it all right. Even our Supreme Master Nanaka cannot get everything 100% right. Master Simon cannot get it all 100% right, let alone those of us that are following them. So when you see your brother make a little mistake, try to understand. This was the message of Master Simon Ekpa yesterday. We should stop fighting each other. We should unite. Forget about division. Dr. Mazanga said the same thing when he was making his broadcast. Dr. Mazanga said we should all try as much as possible to come together as one and do things as one people. That we should find a common ground where every one of us can relate with each other. And that is what we have always been asking for. We have been asking for that. I personally have been preaching about that oneness. Some people hated me because I am talking too much about oneness. And when they see me talk so much about oneness, they get uncomfortable with it. I don't know how that is supposed to make someone uncomfortable. I don't know. I do not know. But every one of us, the same way we supported our Prime Minister, Master Simon Ekpa, it is very important that in the same vein, we should come together. We should come together and focus on those things that matters. Focus on there are certain things that unite us. There are things that makes us one. Undoubtedly, there are things that you will always find something that makes you one with your brother. And when you remember those things that makes us one, those are the things that you look at. And when you see certain things, you overlook it. Instead of fighting your brother or your sister, you see certain issues, you just overlook it. Overlook it and pretend it's not happening. It is not stupidity. It doesn't mean that you are stupid. It doesn't mean that you are afraid. It is wisdom. It is wisdom. When you see your brother, you focus on the thing that unites you. Always have a positive thought towards your brother, towards your sister. And I'm going to read what Dr. Mazanga wrote on his platform on day 2. You know, Dr. Mazanga is one of the members of the technical team. He's part of the technical team. So I'm going to read what Dr. Mazanga wrote on his platform about the day 2. Day 2, truth is here. He wrote day 2, truth is here. For years, I have argued that Nigeria is a country without a country, a state without a state. And it comes, the story. My position is that the Nigerian government misled the Finnish authorities with intelligence that I believe was false and rallied on witnesses to support allegation against Simon Ekpa. At the same time, I contend that the real violence against civilians in the Southeast was being ignored. That is true. The real violence in the Southeast was ignored. And that real violence is carried out by the federal government of Nigeria. Federal government of Nigeria using their so many security outfits they have for, mainly Ebubag and a set of Kobo. But they framed them as Simon Ekpa up. That is what Dr. Mazanga is writing here. He said, my position is that the Nigerian government misled the Finnish authority with intelligence that I believe was false and relied on witnesses to support allegation against our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. At the same time, I contend that the real violence against civilians in the Southeast was being ignored. Then came the moment of truth. When the case reached out, those expected to support the allegation did not appear to testify. In the court today, the people that were supposed to come and testify, you know, that was why they made a closed door so that people would not see those for security reasons. For security reasons, the people that were supposed to testify against Simon, that is why they have a closed door today and they're going to have a closed door tomorrow. But unfortunately, the people that are supposed to come and testify today on that evidence, on the allegations, they were nowhere to be found. That is what Dr. Mazanga wrote, and he laughed. Those expected to support the allegation did not appear to testify in the case today. The court asked where they were. The court asked, today the court was asking, where are the people that are supposed to testify and confirm the evidence they provided? Where are they? The court asked where they were. Justice cannot be built on allegation alone. If evidence is credible, it should withstand scrutiny in open court. If those making accusation fail to appear and support them under oath, serious question naturally arise about the reliability of the case. So for the fact that the people who were supposed to come and appear in person and testify today are not in court, to prove their evidence, to give facts, and take questions from Mazi Simon Ekpa, take question from the council, put their evidence to test, and see if you can withstand the test. But they were not in court today. Truth does not fear the courtroom. That is what Dr. Matanga said. That truth does not fear the courtroom, and that is right. So, one thing that is clear today that you and I know, one thing you will learn this evening on today's case is that Nigerian government were not able to come and testify. They did not come. Even their agents were not able to come. So that whatever they have as an evidence against Mazi Simon will be put to test. They were nowhere to be found. And Dr. Matanga is saying, which all of us know, that truth does not fear the courtroom. Why will you be afraid to come and defend your evidence if your evidence is real? Why are you running away to come and defend your evidence? Tomorrow is still another day. Let's see if they can appear tomorrow to face the defense counsel, to face Mazi Simon Ekpa against a terrorist country that we know evil that they are committing and continue to commit. And with all his technical team. Today they didn't come, nobody saw them. So let us see if they will appear tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another day. And as you heard Mazi Simon Ekpa say, that Finland authority imprisoned the wrong person. The people that are supposed to be on the hot soup is Nigerian government. Nigerian government are the ones that are supposed to be on a hot soup to face the consequence of their action. So, my fellow Biafrans, we have to continue to pray for our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. We must continue to stand with Mazi Simon Ekpa. As for victory, victory is on the way. Victory is on the way and is coming faster than you and I expect. Victory is coming faster than you and I expect. So wherever you are, every one of us must pay attention to what is going on. We must continue to give our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa all the support he needs. We must continue to give Mazi Simon Ekpa every support that he needs. Our supreme leader deserves all the support because he's an innocent man. Our supreme leader, our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa, is an innocent man. Very, very innocent. And no amount of blackmail, no amount of propaganda will make us to abandon our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa Joko. We will stand with him in thin and in thick. Every single one of us. We must, it is a must, we must stand with our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. He is going to be victorious. And we shall defeat the enemies. We shall defeat the enemies. It doesn't matter how they come. Nigerian government have been defeated. They are running away. They can't even come to court to defend their lies. And for the fact that they did not come to court today, they were not able to appear in the court. The game is over. The game is over. Mazi Simon Ekpa is victorious. And victory definitely will be his. It does not matter what the enemies are doing. It does not matter their propaganda and blackmail. It does not matter their attack from right, left, and center. Mazi Simon Ekpa is going to come out victorious. Truth does not fear the courtroom. That statement by Dr. Mazanga is very powerful. Truth does not fear the courtroom. for the fact that Nigerian government is running away from the court. That should be something the Finland authorities should pay attention to. Tomorrow is another day. If they had confidence, let them come and defend the evidence I provided. This appeal has been fixed for more than 2 months ago, or 3 months ago, or 4 months. We have been hammering and shouting. So nobody will say he doesn't know that Simon is on an appeal. So everyone should expect that those that brought the prosecutor should have their evidence and their testifiers available. Those that gave them evidence should be there to testify and defend the evidence they brought. Because it is one thing to bring an evidence. When you present an evidence, your evidence will be put to test. The defense lawyers will ask you questions. They will ask you questions to defend the evidence you are providing. Scrutinize the evidence to see where it's coming from. Just like they have done to Mazi Simon Ekpa. They quizzed Mazi Simon Ekpa yesterday. His Twitter handle was literally opened one after the other. They were questioning. They went about Osun, all the camps in Imo State, asking him. They went as much as trying to attach the ESN to Mazi Simon Ekpa. And Mazi Simon Ekpa told them that what he has is BLA, not ESN. And today, some people are pushing wrong information that Mazi Simon Ekpa is distancing himself with the ESN that Mazi and can have taken back. No, it is not true. Mazi Simon Ekpa is in a court. And during his tenure, when Mazi Simon Ekpa was in charge, during his tenure, he doesn't have ESN. What he has is the Liberation Army. He does not have ESN. What Mazi Simon Ekpa has, and everything they brought, you are shown to Mazi Simon Ekpa in the court. They say ESN did this, ESN did that, ESN, and they know that they cannot mention the Liberation Army because Mazi Simon Ekpa, before ever he started everything he was doing, he made it official to Finland. The Finland authority knew about the government in exile. Finland know very well. Finland know our first convention. In that first convention, when the government in exile was introduced, they knew, they were aware. Mazi Simon Ekpa made it official, and he sent a formal letter to Finland government about the government in exile. They know very well. They know. Even the declaration of Biafra, Mazi Simon Ekpa went to their prime minister and sent a request. He went to the presidency and sent a letter. Mazi Simon Ekpa sent letters to the appropriate, including their forces, authorities, their police. They were aware that Biafrans were coming to Finland to declare Biafra after they have met all the requirements of a government. And they know once you have a government in exile, a government in exile has the right to operate an army to defend his people. That is what the law says. The international law, the international law makes him, Montevideo law makes it right for him to establish an army. And that is why you can never see Nigerian government talking about the Liberation Army anyway. Every time what they were talking is ESN. Even the accusation they brought against Mazi Simon Ekpa, they were writing ESN. But Mazi Simon Ekpa has no ESN. And he told them in the court, I have no ESN. Mazi Simon Ekpa has no ESN under him. There was no ESN under him. What Mazi Simon Ekpa had was the Liberation Army. The Liberation Army of Biafra. And that was what a government in exile is supposed to have. What he owns is what? But the accusation that we are bringing, that this happened, ESN did this, ESN did that, ESN did that, they were telling you, the accusation against Mazi Simon Ekpa was about what ESN did. And Mazi Simon Ekpa say, I can't explain what ESN did or what they did not do. I don't have ESN. There was no ESN under me. What I had was the BLA, the Biafran Air Force, the Biafran Navy, the Biafran, all the Biafran group, and even the Biafran police, which was about to form them. And he showed their logos. He showed all the logos of the Liberation Army. They saw it in them, their logo. He showed the Liberation Army logo. He showed the Air Force logo. He showed the Navy logo. There was nothing like ESN under Mazi Simon Ekpa. And that was what he said in the court. But today, some people misinterpret it and they are saying different things everywhere. They are talking about this. This is a court. I don't know why some of us don't reason well. This is a court. And what is just like Mazin Nandekan. You see, Nigerian government, anytime they are talking about Mazin Nandekan, ESN, because Mazin Nandekan created ESN. And the ESN he created functioned until when they kidnapped him. After the kidnapping of Mazin Nandekan, ESN stopped existing. Chike Doziem and China Sawuru took the ESN and gave it to the governors, and they turned them to bag. And they committed several crimes everywhere. So that was exactly what Mazi Simon Ekpa tried to explain in the court. But today, some people are manipulating that very information that Mazi Simon Ekpa gave. Why are you so mischievous? A simple explanation. Is it that you don't know that Mazi Simon Ekpa is in the court? Do you think they're going to ask him about something that doesn't concern him? He will only answer about things that happened while he was in charge. Mazi Simon Ekpa is answering questions based on things that were happening while he was in charge. When Mazi Simon was in charge, he was not in charge of ESN. He has nothing to do with ESN. There is no ESN under Mazi Simon Ekpa. What Mazi Simon have is the Liberation Army. That was what he worked with. And a government in exile has the right to operate an army. According to Montevideo Convention, a government in exile has the right to operate an army. And that is why you can never see government of Nigeria calling Liberation Army. You can never see government of Nigeria recognizing the Liberation Army of Biafra. They will never, you can never see it anywhere. Even when they write, they brought the accusation they brought about Mazi Simon accusing, all the information they brought, all the evidence they brought, what they wrote in the evidence is ESN. Then Mazi Simon told them, I don't have ESN. There is no ESN under me. There was nothing like ESN when I was in charge. The only thing that I had was the Liberation Army. So why is that confusing? Why is some people manipulating it? Why is some people manipulating it? A very simple explanation. It's just like as Mazi Nandekan in the court. You begin to ask Mazi Nandekan issue about Liberation Army. Mazi Nandekan did not create Liberation Army. He doesn't know anything about Liberation. He only knew about ESN he created up to the time he was detained. And if you're asking him anything that happened within the time he was available, he will take responsibility. But not things that happen outside him. That was what Mazi Simon defended yesterday. He made it clear. But some of us, mischievously, that is why I said we need to be careful of information we share. Every one of us, we must be very careful about the information we share and the people we listen to. Because we are creating more problems. We are not solving problems. We are creating more problems. When you misinform the people, if you misinform the people, you are creating problems. We need to be passing the accurate information to the Biafrans so that they will know their left and right, what to do and what not to do, what to say and what not to do. Say. Because some of the things they are sharing online today, when this content creates, they will begin to parade it up and down. And they will use it and create confusion. It doesn't make sense. Just like as you know today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has finally recovered the IPOB that he created. Not IPOB of Chike Doziem and China Sawuru. IPOB that we know today is the IPOB under the supreme leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He has recovered them. And he has a new HOD, Chris Mwogu. Chris Mwogu is the new HOD that is running the affair, the day-to-day affair of the IPOB. And we recognize, personally, if you don't recognize, I recognize them. I recognize IPOB. I recognize the DOS that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has created under Chris Mwogu. I respect them. I recognize them. And they have said that they are recovering the ESN that was under Mazen Nandekam. They want to recover it. And they are in the process of recovering it. They are going to be funding it. They are going to be giving them all the support they need, which is the right thing to do. You don't expect them to go and say they are recovering the Biafra BLA, Biafra Liberation Army. No, they know nothing about the Biafra Liberation Army. Biafra Liberation Army was working under Mazen Simon Ekpa. So you try to separate these two things so that you don't use it and cause a confusion in the mind of the Biafrans and the mind of people. You don't use it to misinform Biafra. Don't misinform the Biafrans. Don't misinform the Biafrans. Even though it might be the same individuals who were in these two things upgraded from one side, upgraded to one, but yet they don't operate as one. Somebody can be in the police today, tomorrow he's in the army. You cannot now go to the army and you begin to accuse the police of what the army have done because somebody who was promoted from police to army or who transferred police to army was there and he committed a crime. Then now you say, okay, because you left the army and joined the police, now you accuse the police. There's the police that committed the crime. No. People are bound to move from one force to the other. You can graduate from one level to the other. But that does not make you a part of you. You either here or there. You can't be both. When Mazi Simon was there, the Liberation Army was intact. But as you know today, the Liberation Army is no longer there. Even after Mazi Simon have left, the Liberation Army is not there anymore. And the ESN resurfaced. So Mazi Simon Ekpa, if you want to question, you question him based on the BLA. But in every accusation that Nigerian government brought, there was no place written Biafra Liberation Army. And they intentionally omit it because they know that Biafran government in exile have the right to operate an army in their territory. According to international law, they have the right to have an army to defend their people. For self-defense, they have the right to operate an army because they have met all the requirements of a government in exile. They have their territory. They have every right to operate an army to control their territory. So don't misinform people. Some of this is when you don't understand it, it is better you keep quiet or you ask questions. But some people mischievously deceive Biafrans. They mischievously deceive Biafrans. When you don't understand these things, ask questions. Ask questions so that people can explain to you. Those who know will explain to you. That is why I tell you, don't just share information because, oh, they are sharing, you join them, you share. Oh, they are doing this, you join them and do. Okay, so okay. Every one of us should learn from Mazi Simon Ekpa, Mazi Nandekam. The case they are facing today should be a lesson to you, to me. If you don't learn now, I don't know when you're going to learn. My fellow Biafrans, we must continue to support our leaders, more especially Mazi Nandekam and Mazi Simon Ekpa. Continue to pray for them every single day. Continue to pray for them. Every minute, pray for them as many times as you can. No amount of prayer is too much. Any moment, any minute you can, pray for them. They need our prayers. In as much as we can see light at the end of the tunnel, we can see a very bright light in the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa, that he's going to come out victorious. Even at that, we will not lose our guard. We have to continue to pray. If you are a traditionalist, pray in your traditional way. If you are a Christian, pray in your Christian way. If you are a Muslim, pray in a Muslim way. If you are a Hindu, whichever one you worship, anything you worship, continue to pray for our leaders. They need your prayers. They need your prayers more than anything. They need your prayers. And every one of us, we should put our head together and pray that Chukwu Okike will be our guide and protector and make us victorious. Chukwu Okike should make us victorious. We must continue to do what we are supposed to do. We must continue to fight this battle until victory is won. So before we go this evening, I will take you to their media as always. You know, we enter the media also in Nigeria to see what they are saying about our struggle, to see what they have to say about either Mazi Nandekano or Mazi Simon Ekpa. I have been checking. None of them is reporting the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa. They are waiting for bad news. But Chukwu Okike Abiyama will disappoint them. You know how they do? They are waiting for bad news. Once they see a bad news, then they will fall out and begin to report. I know how they operate. You and I know how they operate. But Chukwu Okike Abiyama will disappoint them. This time, Chukwu Okike Abiyama will disappoint every single one of them. They will wake up and they will realize that the Biafrans are gone and we are gone for good. And they cannot be able to beat us anyway. So I want us to pay attention to the discussion in this place. They said something about the man that blackmailed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the man that called for the death of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I think they had a discussion about that. Let us listen to them and see what they have to say before we round up on the program. Let's pay attention to their media and see what they have in their media.
N'ọkụkọ nọ n'ime ya wee fesie ifopụ ata akọnyere n'ọka too handsome. Ịma na confusion ha na-achọ ka ịbanye n'ime ya na APC enwetala. So ọkụfụrụchi ya kwuo m ọba ndị APC ekwebatara n'ime oke movement na-achọ ka ha ihe ha ya eme gịnị ha ya adapụ ka Biafra o nwere nke na-abụ ọnwụ ju ọbara.
Steeti ọbụla atụtụrụ steeti ọbụla na mpaghara ugwu tụnyere maazị Peter vote. Coordinator ndị Ariwa Youth na ya bụ steeti a ga-ewepụ ya.
Ebe ihe dị atadoro ha na-afụ ha ụfụ jee chọba ilote onye Buhari onye kwadoro Buhari ka o nwee ihe ma ka ha nọrọkwa n'afọ ha na ya asị ọ bụrụ ya na-agbakasịrị ahụ jee n'ịntanetị ugbu a jee ndị a niile na-agụ egwu kwankwaso na Peter Obi ebe ka egwu ndị a niile egwu ndị ugwu gwugoro ha ji ere promotu ihe kwankwaso na Peter Obi gwugoro oluo na 1 billion nke ndị Igbo gwugoro sef erube na net. So onye ji gosi gị ebe nkwado kwankwaso na Peter Obi si apụtakarị ewepụ ofu onye mbụ ndị onye isi ha na coordinator ha na steeti votu ya ọ ga-adị ole ego na one eketere ya ọ ya ekechanwu ya ha amatakwana na votu ha na ekegolu ha 1,000 5,000 10,000 na ọ ya kwụ ya na nso. Ha amatakwana na agụụ na-agụ ha bụ nke aka metere adịnọ nke bụ nwe Buhari mgbe ọ nọ n'isi ya gwuru foundation ya Tinubu na-edo blọk na-edokwasa n'elu agụ ha. So ha amata na ihe ndị a niile. So ọ bụrụ ihe nke ya na-agwa ha ndị ugwu anọzighị na nke a ya ewepụ coordinator. O nwere ihe gbasara ha ewepụ coordinator ewepụrụ ya na be nebo gị agụụ na agụmba ha.
Ọtụtụ mgbe Ọchịzọ Kalụ Sinetọ Ọchịzọ Kalụ na-echekwa atụmatụ Tinubu ụzọ abụ n'ụzọ ọ ka na-ekwu ihe ọ na-ekwu n'atụmatụ Ego Initiative okwu nke Tinubu wepụtara n'ụkpụrụ anụnwa bụ ezi ihe. Chetakwa na mgbe gara aga ọ na-akọwa na Tinubu na-eme ihe ndị mpaghara South East. Ọ bụrụkwa n'ihi na-echeta Ọchịzọ Kalụ pụtara soro na ndị na-ekwu na amaghị mkparị Tinubu kparịrị ndị bishọp. Ọchịzọ Kalụ Sinetọ kedu ka isi onye a na South East?
The same Ọchịzọ Kalụ we propose na agụkwa ndị mmadụ na ihe a ndị bishọp kwado nwere the same Ọchịzọ Kalụ tinarị ndị ụbọchị na so kedu somebody dị consistent kedu ihe a na-akọtara akụkọ ya. Ọchịzọ Kalụ abụrụ onye ekwesịrị na-akọta akụkọ ya. Ihe na-ewute mbụ n'ọghọrọ ya na ndị Abịa a lot. and o nwerekwa inconsistency ọka na nwere ha ọ ya bụ ihe ịtụ anya nyere m ma ọ bụrụ na emechakwa elekshọn ọzọ ọ dị ụzọ karịa nọchitekwa anya ndị obodo ha ọ ga-egosi m mmụọ na ndị ọ na-anọchite anya ya enweghị onye isi agbakọtara ọnụ ha nso eziokwu ka ọ bụ maka na ọ bụrụ na isi ya agbakọtara ọnụ ha ya agbakọta aka wepụ ofu onye na-anọchite anya ya isi ya na-agbakọtara ọnụ were onye nke isi ya agbakọtara ọnụ dochie anya
okwu ọ jụrụ ụzọ kalụ n'ụbọchị e nwere Igbo n'oge a jụrụ ya maka steeti Abịa Alex Oti maka na mbụ
okwuche ha si na studio a na-apụ ndị mmadụ ndị ga-agba ya ụra agbakọ mechie nọ n'ụzọ onweghị ihe ị ga-akọrọ everybody now ka in fact jee tụọ ndị Abịa now si ha ọ bụrụ na enwee ka a ya agwa Alex Oti si chisi ya sekọntenọ emekwa ya tentenọ ọ ya dịba ha ya ekwe ndị mmadụ niile ga-asịsị Alex Oti chere ga-agbazi ya for life
maka na ejikwa n'oge gara aga kpuchiri na Ekpa City ejiri agbata mmadụ ajụjụ na ọbụla dị n'oge kpuchiri isi ọchị ya dị n'ụmụ ahịa ndị mmadụ si na asị na ọnọdụ na-achị ala anyị chere gawa ha ga-asị otu dịka ọkpọbụ nke bụ ọ dịka ọkwa ọkpọbụ eze bụ agbagbo eze ọzọ mana ọ bụ ọnọdụ ndị na-achị ala anyị na ya bụkwa mmadụ abụọ aka ọrụ ihe bụ na ha hụbeghị ụdị ya kama ha bịa ị na-abụsisi community command of Nazareth o si metụta otu steeti Abịa ndị omeiwu ụlọ nzukọ omeiwu steeti Abịa apụtala ma lenye anya ihe gbasara ndị landlord ndị tenant maka na nke ikpeazụ a ndị ejent chọrọ ibu ndị tenant ha na ndị landlord steeti Abịa apụtala ma kwuosie ihe ndị ejenti ga na-amasị ugbu a pesenti 5%. Ejenti ọbụla nọ na steeti Abịa ị ga-aga denye aha gị na Ministry of Housing na steeti Abịa ka amata gị nwee ID card. Ihe ga na-anọ onye ọbụla ịchọtara ụlọ bụ gịnị 5%. Nke a bụrụ otu aka ka anyị gaa na steeti Ebonyi. Aka na-achị steeti Ebonyi apụtakwala ma kwuo na ya nọ na mkpụrụ akwa ndị mmadụ bi na steeti Ebonyi na-eti maka mkpakpa ọjọọ ndị ejenti na-eme ha ọkachasị ka o si metụta ịchụ ụlọ na ihe ndị ọzọ. Gọvanọ Wifuru apụta ma kwuosie iburu ejenti ọbụla nọ na steeti Ebonyi ihe ga na-anabụ 2%, Abịa 5%, Ebonyi 2%. Aka na-achị steeti Anambra ọkapụtasị isi Soludo si na anụ na mkpụrụ akwa ndị bi na steeti Anambra na-eti maka ihe ndị landlord na ejenti na-eme ha. Isi Soludo si ha ụmụ gbagodi ibe ụmụ aṅụ na mkpụ na mkpụ na-abịa ya ji nwayọọ na-abata ụlọ ga-anụ ụda ya na ndị ejenti ga-anụ ụda ya na steeti Anambra n'oge na-adịghị anya. Anụbeghị m ihe aka na-achị steeti anụbeghị m nke Enugu mana ka anyị lenye anya kwa na steeti anyị ugbu a kọmrade obi dị obi igbola maka na obi dị ụtọ mgbe m kwuru ihe ndị Abịa 5% maka ejenti Ebonyi 2%. Ọ dị dị oge igbola onye bụ ihe ga-ezu n'anya ọrụ ọ bụla dị na steeti Lagos maka na nke ikpeazụ a ndị ejenti ewerele ndị mmadụ the more you look, the less you see na steeti Lagos. Ọ dịghị ka nke a bụ ihe bara steeti ọbụla kwesịrị iwepụta etinye ya n'iwu ejenti ọbụla ị ga-edenye aha gị ị ga na-enwe 2% na 5% na onye ọbụla ị chọtara ụlọ na ihe ndị ọzọ karịa isi a ha na-emepụ ndị mmadụ na anachọtara ahụ.
Igbo o nwere ebe ọzọ m chọrọ ịrụtụ aka n'okwu a ndị mmadụ a na-emeri iwu a ha na-adịdịkwa eteke advantage iwu nọnụ ka ọ bụ so emesi iwu ha emerụkwa ihe na ihe dị ha mma na-aga nke bụ eziokwu na Lagos a kịta tụwa 10%. Yes. Mana 10% na ọ 10 ka iwu kwadoro ya ka nna ajụ ndị mmadụ a na-emeri iwu a ha na-adịdịkwa eteke advantage of iwu nọ enwere maka na abụbeghị onwenugwu ebe ifuru si na onye a chọtara ụlọ ihe ya eme bụ kwụọ ụgwọ ụlọ anyere gị then mba Adigbo ka anyị adị na-ebule because before amụọ Jizọs nke anyị ma ndị mmadụ na-adị iwu ọ ya mere mgbe oge ahụ iwu dị maka onye dara iwu ndị mmadụ ịhapụ ha mee uche ha ya na-eme ihe megidere iwu si ndị mmadụ take them advantage of the legislations and laws dị available si ka ha wee marụta ya nke mere 5% na 10% a kịta na ndị mmadụ ka ya na-adanyekwa ndị ejenti ahụ n'aka ọ ebe ahụ ka nna ji ije adịghị Igbo na doo ha nsọ ndị mmadụ iwu adịla n'ebe iwu ndị na-emebe ka anyị na-ene n'anya na-enwe olileanya na ha nwa ya ewelitekwa aka ịghọtago maka na ama m na onweghị ego ala anyị kwuru na onweghị steeti karịrị 30% and 30% dị too big maka na ọ bụrụ na ị na-akwụ 100,000 for instance ị ga-enye 30,000 na 30%. ịghọtago so all the big for agent now mana ndị nke nwekwa most people bụ 10% ọ na-agbadata ha na onye nke eme na 5% na 2%. now ijekwa ebe ahụ again ndị mmadụ ka ya na-akwụkwa almost what they were paying before the law came on board. That is my anger. O nwere onye ya asị ka e test gonuma ji iwu a ọ na-arụ ọrụ n'ezie ka ọ nọ ha arụ ọrụ ọ nsogbu nwa yes ada eziokwu ndị ọkaikpe na ndị ọkaiwu emeela ka anyị ghara inwe ntụkwasị obi chachari n'ebe ụlọ ikpe ala anyị mana ọ bụghị mgbe ọbụla ka ọ na-ada adịla o nwekwere mgbe ihe anwale efukwana nwere ihe ya pụta n'ime se nwere ana rekọdụ okwu onye pụtaranụ ejikwa wee mezie ya atụgharịgide ike akwụsie ya at least mgbe nwee ya one or two ndị mmadụ ekwuekwe nna na iwu ahụ wepụtara aha agwa ọkụkwa everybody amara so onye ọbụla amarazi ya yes na ya atụrụ akwụkwọ mana si enwedị okwu onye kara obi ghọtago achọ o nwere okwu ya m chọrọ ịmata ka o nwere okwu lọya na ụzọ aja west steeti ka dị lọya na-aga trafik light na ndị ihe ya wee jide o mecha ya were aka ha kwụpụ ha ụlọ ikpe emecha award ya 600,000 ọ bụrụ maka the money is about setting a standard and setting the making the law active egosite ndị mmadụ mana onye ọbụla most of the times ife onye ha kwudoro onye ahụ amara ụjọ amarụ periperi were ego nye ha o were mbọsị mụ na my brother mbụ moto m na-agafe na saịdị ebe dalikọ ebe ahụ ụzọ ahụ bụ rivers ka m ji anachiata bifo ụzọ ahụ gara ihe n'okpuru na saịdị briji esi wepụ express ihe agbafeela m wee jirizi azụ na-anachiata ndị a wee tiri m nwunye na okpuru taya ya dịkwuo taya ka m na-aba mba ma brother na-asị m mba mụ na ndị emekwana ihe ahụ na mgbe ha ya eme nka na ahịa esizi moto m nka mana ama m na iwu emegidere ihe m na-eme abagidere m mba ndị ajedozi alụ taya m were 10,000 naira nye m n'aka maka ime nka ịghọtago so otu a ka ọ bụrụ na akwụkwọ m ụlọ ikpe dito na ha akụkọ ka m si wee mewe na akọ 1 or 2 calls m mebere ayịwazia biko so ihe m na-ekwu bụ na ndị mmadụ adịghị take advantage of iwu dịnụ maka inyere onwe ha aka eme iwu a anyị eto ndị mere iwu a because na o gosiri na ha ka na-echeta afụfụ ndị mmadụ na-ata n'aka ụfọdụ ihe dị aṅa ghọtago mana ndị mmadụ kwesịrị ime gịnị ị na-agba mbọ na-eteke advantage of iwu na-echekwa obodo na-agasị
Comrade tupu anyị gara gbara aka afịa kedu ka isi wee fụ ya bụ kwapụ n'ọnụ ihe ndị ntorobịa n'okpuru nchedo ahụ ọsụ ihicha ụgbọkwuru gbasatara ya bụ ichekwa nwata nwoke si na akara ịkakwana nọ na Nnamdị Kalụ emeginara ya ka wee chie kịta hapụtara n'Igbosi ha bụrụ na ị na-anya nna ya tụfuru ndụ ya onye nọchiri anya nne ya tụfuru ndụ ya ụlọ karịrị atọ n'ihe ebibiri na ezinụlọ na ihe a na-apụta n'ime ala alo mmekpa igwe ihe ọṅụ ma ihe ndị a niile ya bụ na onye kwuru ka o si dịrị ya ọ bụghị ihe kwesịrị onye si ọkwụ n'okpuru ihe a abụghị maka ka enwe jọngụ justice kama na ebe o kwuru ya keleba anya fụ na iwu n'okpuru iwu Naijiria bụ ihe jidere n'ebe dị elu maka ọdịmma kwasị to make and just see if you
so handsome. Nke bụ eziokwu obodo a na onwere onye ga-anọ in such pain na-agaghị ekwu ihe dị ya n'obi. Ibu na o nwere ike were ka o si dịrị ya nke ndị oyibo na-akpọ emotion metụta obi wee dagharị okwu. Mana ọ bụrụ ya ka ndị nọkwa n'akụkụ ya esi wee mee gịnị mapụtakwa again na-asọpọtụ ya ibu na ọ dara n'okwu. Sigbuo nwa amadi abụ Nnamdi Kanu ịhụrụ ya n'ihu ọgụ. Sigbuo nwa amadi anọ bụ Nnamdi Kanu. O nwere onye ndị niile ejidere aka kịta asị ọ Nnamdi Kanu zutere ya enyocha ya eziokwu ọ bụrụ na eziokwu ka ọ bụ onye pụta were emoshọn ihe mere ya na-akọ akụkọ anyị egebe ya ntị jiri maka ya akpọpụta Nnamdi Kanu anyị egbuo anyị jiri maka ya anyị akpọpụtakwu nne na nna anyị egbuchi ha bikos nọ emoshọn ka o sitere ya. Ndị ọsọ ijite ụkwa eziokwu ka o nwego onye kpọrọ ebe a sị na unu na-eme ka ndị Awụsa mmeso ya kwu maka na amagha m eze na esobe na mbịa mana esowe ihe onye ahụ kwuru na unu si wee respọndụ oyibe ofu okwu ahụ dohansọ. Nke bụ eziokwu bụ nwa amadi a bụ Nnamdi Kanu enyoola m ya o and enyotara m ezigbo ihe niile.
ama m na achọrọ ka ebuche ya Abuja bụ nke ha si mba na ọ gaghị ekwe omume tupu enweta nkwado na ụlọ ikpe.
Ibuje ya Abuja na ebuje ha Abuja ọ bụghị ibuje ya Abuja ka anyị na-akpọ anyị bụ ndị na-eso okwu a chọrọ ya chọrọ bụ unconditional release. Adịkwa m sure n'ịnụ na US gọọmenti enwekwana ka ha si wetinye ahụ maka unconditional release. So ka anyị nene anya ihe niile a ka anyị nene anya nke ga-eme mana do handsome ebujere ya Abuja ahụ ebujere ya ahapụrụ ya ebe ọ nọ. Ihe dị anyị mkpa bụ si hapụ nwa amadi a. Ndị nke na-egbu si gbuo ha egbuo n'uche obi ha maka na ọ na-abụ nwatakịrị mee ụgwọ ọnụ ọ dịka ọsị na ya gwagbu ọgaranya n'okwu. So ọnụ ka ha kwuwara mana ka anyị debe okwu a ebe ọzọ.
Ka anyị na-ese ya ebe ọzọ ọ ka bụ na ihe omume Igbo Amaka n'oge ndị Igbo na Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Ka anyị ga-agbara aka ahịa ọ bụrụ na anyị laghachi azụ anyị ga-aga n'ihu na ya bụ
ya n'ihu ọgụ. Sigbuo nwa amadi anọ bụ Nnamdi Kanu. O nwere onye ndị niile ejidere aka kịta asị ọ Nnamdi Kanu zutere ya enyocha ya eziokwu ọ bụrụ na eziokwu ka ọ bụ onye pụta were emoshọn ihe mere ya na-akọ akụkọ anyị egebe ya ntị jiri maka ya akpọpụta Nnamdi Kanu anyị egbuo anyị jiri maka ya anyị akpọpụtakwu nne na nna anyị egbuchi ha bikos nọ emoshọn ka o sitere ya. Ndị ọsọ ijite ụkwa eziokwu ka o nwego onye kpọrọ ebe a sị na unu na-eme ka ndị Awụsa mmeso ya kwu maka na amagha m eze na esobe na mbịa mana esowe ihe onye ahụ kwuru na unu si wee respọndụ oyibe ofu okwu ahụ. Dohansọ. Nke bụ eziokwu bụ nwa amadi a bụ Nnamdi Kanu enyoola m.
International Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. It's time for the evening rush. Yes, this is basically the platform where we get to discuss topical issues across Nigeria's social, economic, and political landscape. Nigerians, this is a period where we have conversations, logical conversations, intellectual conversations that helps us understand the gravity of what is going on in the polity. People-oriented policies according to the federal government, state government palliative measures to enable residents enjoy the true dividends of democracy, and the controversy surrounding the limitation and supposedly sidelining of some policy engagements that are meant to uplift the lifestyle of the people. Right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, we logically look into these issues, criticize them as usual, recommend where they have done well specifically, and encourage them to do better. And as usual, you're always part of the conversation where you call in to contribute, and we have a proper assessment. Most times you guys ask questions, what's the benefit of these conversations anyway? Why precisely do we go on with these conversations if nothing happens? Trust me, it happens, it echoes, it resonates, it boomerangs, and the polity literally listens, whether you like it or not. These aides, these members in the cabinet, they monitor these conversations, they try to also implement it as best as they can. Let me even give you a very succinct information if you do not even understand. Right now, at this very moment, all media activities are actually being monitored. Conversations in the political space are actually being monitored. Your callings, your criticisms, your recommendations, everything you say is extremely monitored. They may decide not to do anything about it immediately, but trust me, they're taking your ideas and they're thinking ahead of it. Yesterday, when I was discussing the limitations of the governors, where they're not deliberately harnessing the utilities given to them, specifically the FAC allocation, palliative measures for poverty, and having to see how they can develop several communities in the state, while also looking at an opportunity to help the local governments deliver the dividends of democracy. You remember that most of these things were said, you guys called in to give your own contribution as to what they could do and why you don't even trust some of these things. I got a call today, and trust me, you guys, like I said, they listen. So we must help ourselves to make Nigeria better. Now, this is a particular piece I want to reel out from the Punch editorial. I need you to also read it. Nigerians have been complaining that this administration is similar to that of the Abacha era. The question is that true? Has the administration of President Bola Ahmed gotten so bad that they're comparing it to the Abacha era? So let's go down memory lane. For a lot of us who are not aware of what Abacha was, I wasn't really aware. I was very little at the time. The only thing I can recall was when Abacha died, there was a glorification across the nation. Like people came out and were celebrating, drinking and dancing. I really didn't understand why the nation was celebrated though, but I was little. But so for some of us who were of that age at that time, let's take a listen or go down memory lane as to what Abacha's administration or regime was all about. Now, according to this editorial, there is a stark warning contained in a memoir, DSS at 40. I'm sure you guys know Amakri. Now, apparently a book was written, and they wrote My Journey Behind the Shield by former Department of State Services Officer Dennis Amakri. Now, the book once again cast a harsh light on the brutal dictatorship of former head of state Sani Abacha from November 1993 until his death in June 1998. Was it 1998 he passed on, or 1995? 1998. You see, and I was saying 1995, so it tells you that I wasn't even very acute on the precise time he died. The only thing I can recall was the celebration that took place at the time. Now, that regime remains one of the darkest chapters in Nigeria's political history, a byword for repression, impunity, corruption, and the reckless abuse of state power. These chilling recollections strengthens, or rather is being advised to strengthen the country's resolve to resist every attempt to sanitize the Abacha era and supposedly work on how we intend to go on with this administration. Now, what are the similarities between Abacha's era and that of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration or the APC that came into power in 2015? Now, apparently, Abacha has been known as one of Africa's most vicious military rulers, and obviously there are talks that that administration or that regime may not replicate itself in the polity. Did we have freedom of speech at the time like we do now, at least to a certain level? Well, as the day goes by, my analysts will give us details of what transpired then and what we're seeing now, where the similarities are, or basically where things are straightened, because the president was one who fought Abacha to actually get us to the point where he claims we are in right about now, the Nadeko era. Now, according to what a lot of persons misunderstand is the fact that he was not considered a patriot or a nation builder. They say Abacha was a sinister tyrant. He, rewriting a history of his regime, means an insult to the memory of thousands who suffered detention, torture, exile, persecution, and death under his iron-fisted rule. Now, before becoming head of state, Abacha was a central figure in Nigeria's cycle of military coup, beginning with the December 1983 overthrow of President Shehu Shagari. He was also a key member of the Ibrahim Babangida regime that annulled the June 12, 1993 presidential election, widely acknowledged as Nigeria's freest and fairest, which MKO Abiola indisputably won. The annulment plunged the country into political and economic turmoil. Strikes paralyzed the economy, protests spread across the country, businesses were shut down, banks struggled, ethnic tensions intensified, a lot of people traveled to their village. I remember we were little. I didn't go to school for 3 months. I remember being carried in my father's box wagon. That is box watch. I swear. I just knew that we had grass or leaves on the box wagon, and we traveled from Lagos to see. There was mats, there was stove, there was kitchen chair, there was mattress. I don't know how that box wagon. I was crying throughout that journey. It was uncomfortable. We were pressed like sardines. I hated it. And we were little then. So I just recall that I was uncomfortable. What made me remember was I was in the villa for 3 months. And we really did not have anything to do other than to play. And that was where I got exposed to reading novels. Then my mom bought us this primary school literature books. Very, this Simbi, Ali, those kind of comprehension books exactly. That was it. But it was the longest period I stayed at home at the time. And we were always going about with leaves, like literally, because there was this fear that the nation was boiling and all of that. Anyway, I think it was when I grew up I realized the reason why we went home and stayed at home for 3 months. That Volkswagen did not come back with us because that Johnny crippled it crippled that vehicle. Okay, so back to the conversation today anyway. Apparently, media houses were shut down, newspapers were shut down, media houses were raided, journalists were detained without trial because there was fear, absolute fear, impugned in the polity. So the persecution of Abiola remains one of the regime's greatest atrocities. After declaring himself the rightful winner of the June 12 election in 1994, Abiola was arrested on treason charges. He remained in detention until his mysterious death on July 7, 1998, barely a month after Abacha himself died. The Abacha years were also marked by a string of assassinations and suspicious deaths. Kudirat Abiola, the courageous wife of MKO and a leading figure in the pro-democracy struggle, was assassinated in Lagos on June 4, 1996. Businessman and democratic activist Alfred Rwani was murdered in his Ikeja home in October 1995. While Abraham Adesonya survived an assassination attempt, Tony, the son of Olu Onaguruwa, a minister of justice under Abacha, did not. Shehu Yarodua died in Abakaliki prison in December 1997 while serving the sentence imposed after a controversial coup trial. Olusegun Obasanjo will later become a 2-term civilian president, narrowly escaped death in Abacha's gulag by providence. So, the execution of Ken Saro-Wiwa and 8 other Ogoni activists on November 10, 1995 marked one of the lowest points in Nigeria's history. Those hangings led to Nigeria's suspension from the Commonwealth, transferred the country into an international pariah. I recall that. I think most of the international communities banned Nigerians. And Abacha felt we did not need them, I think. He felt we could sustain. Is it just Commonwealth? Okay. While characteristically, the regime responded with greater repression. Its chief security officer, Hamza al-Mustafa, and members of the notorious strike force, they actually became enduring symbols of state terror. Bombs exploded in public places. Countless Nigerians were arrested without warrants, tortured in secret detention facilities, and denied even the most basic legal protections. The dictatorship also sought to perpetuate itself. By 1998, all 5 officially recognized political parties had adopted Abacha as their sole presidential candidate in a thoroughly discredited transition program. The late Bola Ige memorably described them as the 5 fingers of a leprous hand. Beyond political repression, Abacha presided over one of the greatest episodes of official corruption in Nigeria's history. After his death on June 8th, investigators uncovered billions of dollars looted from the public treasury through fraudulent security votes, inflated contracts, and direct withdrawals from the central bank. Successive Nigerian governments working with foreign partners have recovered billions of dollars in what has become globally known as the Abacha loot, unending Abacha loot. Next year, or possibly before the end of this year, you'll hear another recovered Abacha loot. So substantial forms remain hidden and in some states and countries across the globe uncovered. So, there have been numerous conspiracy theories which surrounded his death. Some blamed foreign intelligence agencies or visiting diplomats as MI6, M16 has been called, or FBI or CIA. Exactly. Others have also claimed he died in the company of foreign sex workers. Oh yeah, we heard that. Amakari's memoir instead claims a military ruler died in the private company of a local female entertainer. Abacha was having a twosome precisely with two sisters. That's what Amakari is telling us. Okay? However, none of these accounts have been subjected to forensic scrutiny, but Amakari believes that that's what happened. They spoke with the so-called sister or the person who was entertaining, and that maybe Abacha took Abacha took what do you call that thing now? I don't want to call it. Yeah. But he took a medication that self-sustains during some kind of interesting intercourse. Let's use that phrase. And that possibly it was too strong for him. Oga, in the process of sweetie pie. That's what Amakari is claiming. Anyways, but like there's big no forensic, whatever to that. So the spontaneous celebrations that erupted across the country following the announcement of his death spoke volumes about the hatred Nigerians had for his reign of terror. Now, a lot of Nigerians and critics of this administration have attributed that there is a similarity between the Abacha era and Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, or precisely the APC administration that came on board since 2015. There are talks that if you try to tell this administration the truth, they criticize you, they use all forms of vitriol against you. But the big question is that true? We're going to begin such assessments. However, before we proceed, just yesterday evening, possibly around this time, Rotimi Amechi was on national television, and guess what? The presidency has responded. Bola has vowed to ask him questions to expose certain secret conversations. We really want to understand what secret conversations that could be exposed, specifically with Article. Let's take a very close listen to Rotimi Amechi yesterday evening on, I think, Channel's television program. No, it was not prime time. It was on Channels. Yesterday evening, precisely, it was on Channels. Yeah, that he had that interview with, yes, Joe Kubalo. Let's listen to this.
Former minister and now a running mate to Atiku Abubakar. We've got through Lord Jesus Christ. So when a group of people who are not Christians get up and assault my faith, then I must get up to defend it. Do you think there has been an insult? Of course. When you look at the bishops of the Catholic Church and assault them, and Cardinal. Because in the hierarchy of things, so let's see how we can let Nigerians know. Maybe you know Cardinal or Nayeko. I'll go to Cardinal. Let me tell you first. The bishop, most bishops are equivalent to a governor of the state. And I'll tell you why. The bishop of the Catholic Church in Port Harcourt Diocese covers the entire River State. The entire Catholics in River State, in every village in River State. What does the governor of River State cover? The same thing covers the entire River State. So when you meet a bishop, ecclesiastically he covers every place in River State. There are so many of such, like this Bishop of Sokoto. The same thing, he covers the entire Sokoto State. Now you look at him and you insult him because he has come to see the president. Look at the president's statement. The president of the country tells the country all is fair in politics. So if a dog takes a gun and shoots me where I'm voting, it's fair. I'm not sure that was what exactly that he meant. He said he won't lay for you in a position, he won't lay the red carpet. He will slug it out with you. That's like that. Before then he said all is fair in politics. I just listened to him now. All is fair in politics. You know, I read literature. The moment a writer concludes his writing, any other statement is based on interpretation. He has the right to interpret his books. I have the right to interpret his books. So when the president has said to you, all is fair in politics, when the Catholic Church is crying about the possibility of having an election that may not be fair, what the president needs to do is to reassure the country. APC and PDP and ADC, they will slug it out in a and leaving field. It will be a free and fair election. Let the president win. We come to the meat of the matter, because the reason why the bishops and the leadership of the Catholic Church in Nigeria went to the president, they said it's about hardship in the country, the state of the nation, and some of the issues that are concerning, including how fair INEC will be, because the president plays a defense for INEC. The Catholic Church record, if it was private, the Catholic Church record it. Do you think Cardinal Nayeko should have made extra commentary about every public meeting with the president is public? The moment you bring in cameras, it's no longer private. I was once in the presidency. If the president wants a private meeting with you, there are no cameras. Nobody will record you. No other this is a private meeting. The moment you allow pressmen into their meeting, it's no longer private. So it was all right for Kaduna. Completely all right. There's nothing. He said the president was not going to listen. And no matter what the president looked like he was adamant that he was going to win the election by all costs. This without not quoting him verbatim, but I mean that's the inference that he made. You see, what that the president continues to tell the public that he will win the election at all costs until we get to the field. Whatever the president wants us to do at the field, we'll do it at the field. So probably I'm not worried about what he wants to do, whether he will wrestle, we'll meet at the field. We'll meet there. Nigeria has to be rescued, but that's not the issue. The issue is what the president and his men are doing is insulting my faith. They're insulting the Catholic Church. How did the president insult your faith? You didn't listen to Bola. And the first place, when Bola is a Christian, Daniel. Are you probably saying that Daniel? So there are Christians who are actually man. So they are Muslims. I wanted to know how the defense of the presidency becomes. What is the defense? You are insulting a cardinal. A cardinal is somebody who could have been a pope. If he's not a pope, he's somebody who had voted for popes. And there are not too many cardinals in Nigeria that I know that. An icon, what is from the southeast, and Okuchi.
All right, the entire summary of that conversation precisely was on the fact that the administration supporters and aides have been speaking against the Catholic Church when they literally said what the truth was instead of them to accept the criticism and see how to work on it. And he also went ahead to say that during their time, the Catholic Church also called out the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, now late, and that what they did at the time was to keep quiet and see how they could look into some of the concerns that were raised. They were not having any form of political partisanship. Like I told you, the supporters of the day said that Cardinal Naiko, they brought up pictures with the Cardinal with the NDC presidential candidate and felt that possibly he was choosing or picking a side. Now, the thing is, some supporters felt that the opposition went against the Redeemed Christian Church of God General Overseer, that if they could lampoon him or call him out or call him derogatory names, why can't they call the bishops any kind of name? But the question is that he had never in any way openly criticized this government. The last time he spoke, he said he spoke to the president and said there is nothing more the president can do because he has instructed those who are meant to do what they're supposed to do to work. So Nigeria should stop supposedly blaming or berating the president for responsibilities that he had assigned to people. That's what the Redeemed Christian Church of God pastor said. But meanwhile, in 2012, there was an Occupy Nigeria protest, and most of the Pentecostal churches, both CAN, both PFN, everybody went out there to protest, against the government of Jonathan, against the insecurity at the time. So they're asking Pentecostal churches, pastors, why are you guys not having a united voice in condemning what is currently going on in government? If the Catholics could do it, why couldn't you guys do it? So they have aligned it with political manipulation or political alignment, politics being taken to churches. You're hearing churches and pastors advocating for, whoever they believe should run the government. Now, the question is, should the Pope or the Pope or the papal office have any form of influence on how politics goes? The same question goes to, for the Orthodox Christians, should they be part of what is going on in government? Should they influence the decision of people when it comes to choosing the right leadership? Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we're going to have that conversation, but I just needed to give you a breakdown of what we're hearing or what we intend to talk about today and see how we can make a comparison or contrast to what a lot of persons have aligned with this administration and that of late General Sani Abacha. Some persons will say that era was good, while some persons will say this was worse. We're going to hear the indices as to why. Now, the special advisor to the president, Mr. Daniel Wala, has dared Rotimi Amechi to, as a matter of urgency, reveal a private conversation they had about former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. During this interview, which I just recently played, Bola asked that, Amechi asked Bola not to forget a private conversation they both had before his stand on the current administration changed. The former River State governor said he would not disclose the details of his conversation with Bola because it was made in confidence. So Bola is urging Amechi to say exactly what was discussed in confidence. Okay, before we move on to other topics, let me introduce my guest this evening. I actually have Mr. Elvis Elimele. Mr. Elvis, how are you?
I'm good, Esther.
Welcome, sir.
You become a historian this evening.
Me? Well, I think history helps us decide or determine precisely where we're heading at this point
Exactly.
in time.
You must know where you are coming from.
Exactly, and if we're replicating it or we're progressing.
Yeah, exactly. You are right.
Would we say there's a similarity with the Bachar era with this administration with the APC total?
Well, the first one is corruption on both sides. They're both endemic, even though they would deny it. But with this fallout of this fake agency now, I think they can no longer tell Nigerians now that you cannot compare the corruption in Abacha era to their own. That's number one. So we've seen so many. Abacha era, things were not tough with Nigerians as not being able to feed. But here now, we are not able to feed. You understand? So you can give that to Abacha. Things were very affordable that time. Security, there was no insecurity, but today we can't move. So you can still give that to Abacha that it was better. That with Abacha that Nigerian can go over their normal businesses. I come to think of it, Abacha was mostly dealing with politicians because he was wanting to transmute himself from military president, head of state to civilian president. So almost all the politicians was actually having issues with them because some of them are in the same position. You remember the 5 leprous fingers of political party. At the time, all of them have to adopt him because they didn't just have any way to survive rather than to adopt Abacha as the sole presidential candidate for the election. But the election never came before he died. So that was another issue in Abacha's time. So that was where the draconian came. So it was hunting all the politicians. And those politicians were the ones that were like, no, this must not stay. Like in Adeko, which the present president, said he was a member of, but today we can actually prove that he was a member of Adeko, but the tenets of Adeko, he never believed in it. If he believed in
Is the media being suppressed? I don't think so. In this, I think, to be honest with you, I think this administration gives media some leverage.
I'm still coming to the media.
Okay.
You understand? So, if he was actually a real, one of the believers of Nadeko in Tutu, one would have seen that by now, those things Nadeko spoke about would have been, doing some of them, especially restructuring. This area that the constitution are clashing, that we cannot even understand the constitution any longer. One would have expected that by now, this president would have started straightening that and straightening judiciary. Yeah, judiciary today, one can no longer say it's the same judiciary that one is expected to have in a functional country. These are some of the things that people were looking at that time and saying, oh, these are not working well. Because that military, every other legislators is the only missing arm of government in the military. The civilian and the judicial, the executive and the judicial arm of government are in the military. It's only this legislator. And today, the present president of Nigeria, who believes so much in Adeko and who was talking about rule of law, has actually killed the legislators now. There is no legislative arm. And that was the arm of government that was missing in the military, which he was fighting. Today, where is the legislative arm of government? It's no more there. The 10th Assembly will tell you that even if the president sleeps and wake up and in the midnight and tell them this is what I want, they will pass it for him. And that's exactly what was missing in the military administration. So if you not compare the military era and this present dispensation we are under him, especially, you discover that legislative arm is missing because all the check and balances they were supposed to be doing, oversized functions, they are not doing them. That is the reason why an agency that is not in existence got a budget. If the legislative arm was up and doing as expected, they would have been able to detect that this is not a functional agency that a budget should be passed for. So the present president killed the legislative arm. Then to talk of press, yes, there's a little bit of press freedom because it is democracy. You understand?
Especially during this administration. Even the previous administration did not give this levity. And speaking realistically.
But they also have cyberbullying. Now you have the cyber that even the censor some of the things we do too.
To say
yes, but I know that thing that was before that was that gagged the press under the military administration that you cannot speak. It was tougher with
Buhari. But when IBB came, IBB, abrogated it to some extent, so the press started talking to some extent, you understand. Buhari Jagon actually just came up. I think it's the too, where journalists were being hauled into prisons, that trial and all of that. So we have had a long history, Esther, and we are still surviving it. So if you are comparing Abacha era and this present dispensation of President Ahmed Tinubu, there are so many things to take away in the military era that we cannot have now. But we always say the worst civilian government is the best civilian government. What they put it, the worst military government, the best military government is not comparable to the worst civilian government. But today, you talk of infrastructure. Nigeria had the best of infrastructure
at the time
during the military era. If you want to talk about it, the best of infrastructure.
So most of the infrastructure during was
Abuja was single-handedly built by the military. The Abuja of today. Everything you are now seeing in Abuja is in addition to the master plan of Abuja. The military rolled it out and started implementing it. The so-called Aso Rock is built by military. Today, the military built the legislative quarters, and even the National Assembly. The third mainland bridge of Lagos today, one of the biggest bridges to be celebrated in Nigeria, was built by military. So if you look at all this, the Supreme Court of Nigeria today was built by the military. So if you put all these ones together, you discover that the military had more today, even since the democracy began. We're talking about 27 now. We can still give 27 years, we can still give to the military that they have more of infrastructural development for Nigeria than this military and this civilian administration. Because what we hear now is constituency project. This constituency project will just have 780 million naira to buy instruments and whatever.
And we get that's where I want you to highlight. I know you're speaking characteristically of what was experienced then and now. This report makes it seem as if we're getting to the darker days of that regime. And I'm saying that. Are we saying that Nigeria is retrogressing to the point where rights were punctured, people were hurt for being expressive, and people were literally mutilated for not being able to express themselves adequately, where you had grand scale corruption in high places and nobody was held accountable, elections annulled or stolen for one reason or the other, for power reasons, certain things not acknowledged, protest groups or organizations were in one way or the other brandished, these certain persons, specifically the legal arm, were secretly murdered or somehow in a way stopped existing. I mean, what's the comparison with this and that of the darker days of Abacha's era?
Esther,
why is that comparison coming now?
It is even a shame to step in the first instance to start comparing democracy with the military era. It's because something is wrong with this present democracy. That's why we can remember the military. The military should have put it behind us because we see it as darker days. Because Nigerians fought for it. You can imagine the big Nigerians, who is so in Nigeria that you make mention of this, that were murdered, without traces under the military administration. You understand what I'm talking about? So if you now look at that darker days, you don't even have any comparison to start talking about military and civilian. But unfortunately, the politicians brought us to this comparison we are having in this civil. Because what those things we were suffering in the military era were that corruption was high and nobody can actually, confront them. But today, is it not the same corruption that we are talking about? That's another failure of the civilian era. One would have expected that the judiciary should function better in the civilian administration, but where is the judiciary today? The judiciary has now become even the cash cow, the highest bidder, and now gets the judgment. These are things we were saying in the military era that were like, oh, it must not stay. The military were ruled by decree and tribunal, but where are our courts today?
All right, let's listen to Mr. Daniel Wala, who said he's daring the vice presidential candidate of the ADC to come to disclose to the public the supposed secret conversations they had, to reveal a private conversation they had about former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. This was Daniel Wala in 2022, before the president was announced as the winner in 2023.
Everything Bola Ahmed Tinubu presented was granted the opportunity to run and win the election as a governor was forged, was faked. And I have a decision here that Festus Keyamo, his presidential spokesman, filed a quote in 2002, part 799, Nigeria Weekly Law Report, right? At pages 605, when he was challenging the certificates of the person he's marketing at the moment. So this is not the person, it's a law report. First, this is the Supreme Court decision, right? In the case I have cited, and people can check that, I will just say the line. He said the appellant alleged among others that as a legal practitioner, he has been confronted by some of his clients who wanted to understand certain things they considered important related to their contesting the governorship in Lagos State. He further, as Festus Kiyamo, he further alleged certificate forgery against the governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that the letter was not qualified for the office of God. The certificate that he was challenging forgery is that everything Bola Ahmed Tinubu presented who granted him the opportunity to run and win the election as a governor was forged, was faked. And this is not a mere slip of tongue. He went to court, not representing a client. He was the appellant in this case. Festus Kiyamo versus Lagos State House of Assembly.
All right, this was what's his name, Mr. Daniel Wala. Now, there are quite a lot of other videos where he said quite a lot of terrible things about the president, which is what is being used against the president and criticized. And that's why some ABC supporters felt he was the wrong person to be chosen as a spokesperson. But now he's daring article and daring written ability to tell the public, or actually tell the public what they felt they said in confidence against Atiku. Do you think he's trying to save face? Because Daniel Wala has said all the things that he himself can't even remember, that he made utterances in his role because he was working for somebody. Don't you think that's going to be dangerous if he wants to push, possibly to prove to his boss, like Mr. Byron and other likes, that I never said anything that could be compounded?
Well, first of all, when I watched that interview yesterday, I never wanted. I wasn't even happy that Amici did not even disclose what he said he had discussion, because if it was Daniel Boala,
He would have said it, would have spilled.
Would have spilled away. All right, that's on that side. But let's also look at it. Even if Rotimi Amici eventually releases what he says in that their secret discussion, Daniel Boala is going to deny it. He's going to tell you it's a lie. Because you know that Daniel Boala, you saw the Al Jazeera interview.
He has convenient amnesia.
He will tell you it's a matter of context, and that so this discussion would have been more robust this evening if Amici had revealed that thing yesterday. Now it's like, I challenge you not to go and tell Nigerians. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So it's on his own side now. He is feeling like the boss. He has more weight in news now. If we are to report now, Esther, he will have more, because he is not like I dare you.
I dare you.
You understand? And that would make more news story than even if eventually Rotimi Amici now releases it. It's not going to be as weighty as it's supposed to be if he has released it yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm talking news writing. You understand? So Daniel Boala has all maybe the fanfare now to say, go ahead and review whatever you think I discuss with you. And at the end of the day, they will come and deny, and people will not believe it, because I believe Amici did not reveal it as expected.
So there's any possibility for him to deny that actually happened?
100%. Deny it. You saw what happened in Nigeria, right? You understand? And even these ones that you played now, at the time it was President Tinubu, he does not deserve to be even be in the race. When you play this for him, I will tell you, that was the time I never knew. I was at the other side. I never really knew how competent this man is as president today. But now you have a way of approaching him, to suit his paymaster now. So if you want to make a new story, whatever you believe that you believe in, say it at that moment, because news gets stayed.
All right, let's listen to Mweboy when he was also trying to defend this. The presenter, the anchor person was asking that there's hunger in the land, right? And it has gotten worse, inflated. So this is what he had to say.
Macroeconomic improvement. Food prices has become a major challenge for inflation, significantly reduced household purchasing power, particularly among lower income families. This interprets that there is hunger in the land. Just remember, in the real household income still under pressure, which growth has generally lagged increases in living costs. People's increase in the minimum wage, but the purchasing power of the average person has reduced. The cost of living has gone high. Fuel subsidy has highly impacted it. Food insecurity has been a major problem. And these are indices that directly impact on the average person's life. And these are statistics. This is not you or me. This is the statistics that are valid. How do you explain to the people who have been impacted by this negative trend?
Thank you, Shehu. I love the discussion because it's going to afford me an opportunity to, awaken some, Nigerians to their own responsibilities as citizens. Shehu, I said here earlier that if you and I, produce what we eat, the prices of food in the market will definitely crash down. So those who are complaining because they go to the market to buy yam, they go to the market to buy garden, they go to the market to buy vegetable. If all of us all go to the market, what is a simple law of economics? When the demand is high, the price will go high. But when the demand is low, the price will definitely come down. Price control is not the duty of government. It's the activities of the citizens. And I want to use the opportunity to let Nigerians know that you can't be rich by accident. You cannot bring down the prices of food in the market by agitating. It is by doing what you're supposed to do. And what is it? Let everybody go to farm. Produce what you eat. If you cannot be a commercial farmer, produce for your family and for yourself. Blaming the people for the failure of your own government. What failure? What is it that government is supposed to do that they have not done?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before my analyst response, we'll take a very short break. Evening Rush continues. We'll be right back.
King Malaysia, a double punch of participate and ammonia pain. An effective complication that camosunate. There's a malaria therapy. Comes in all different parts, all different age groups. No 1 year, up to 6 years, 7 to 13 years.
Camosunate, effective anti-malaria for all ages. Marketed by Jenny Pharmaceuticals Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please see your doctor. Delivered inside.
You are listening to your number one station. The voice of the people, 90.3 FM. Do not touch that dial.
Parents, you've worked hard to give your child the very best future with a 90% graduate employment rate in the first 6 months of graduation. That future can be right here at Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British branch campus in sub-Saharan Africa. The same globally recognized UK degree, accredited to the highest international standards, all within a modern learning environment. Applications are now open. Visit lancaster.edu.gh to apply today. Lancaster University, Ghana, a global degree at your doorstep.
This is 91 Sudan. Some people are 2 years old. Latest. How is it dark? I never build a joke. It will worry you as it affect your business. So not your talk all. Imagine say you wake up for morning, lights no shake, fridge don't block, business don't get wahala, everything dey okay. No be dream with your Haku. And you dey put your light. You have to sell gas cooker, freezer, fridge, and then go furnish you with modern kitchen or whether na inverter, batteries, panels, smart street lights, in a solar AC system we want use for house, business, and for industrial work. You have to start gym to help you. Bye to never be no. No wait till transformer go spoil again. Oh yeah, call you Haku for 070-121-30260 or 080-324-82573, or you fit to call 080-669-60066. For Lagos, we there for shop F1179 Industrial Section or Joalaba International Market or shop G6 Electronic Section, Alaba International Market 8th line, Ute Oboji Plaza, Abuja office na Corporate 13, Dubai International Market, back of Games Village, Kabu District for Abuja. For Port Harcourt, we there for number 51 Oporo Road,
Asiowa Trade Center for River State. Yohako website na www.yohakoproducts.com. Online store na www.yohakostore.com. Yohako, from sun to earth, we can make your mind take a if you want to be heard, since a year, voice of the people, 90.3 FM, 90.3 FM. Your long-term strong battle is about to expire as your alliance is in big trouble. Yes, come be part of the strong encounter of the super move of the Holy Ghost and the yoke breaking night. A special all-night prayers taking place at another prayer city, kilometer 12 on the Simon Expressway, yoke breaking night, Friday, August 7, 2026. The whole shall arise, and your stubborn yoke shall be broken. Medical cycle starts at 8 p.m. Main concert begins at 10 p.m. Come with a bottle of oil. The Holy Ghost is set to bury your problems permanently. The general overseer, Jesus is Lord.
Presence of Buhari's administration, which Rotimi Amici was also part of. So about the expose, like the fake agency in government, the coup that took place almost 2 or 3 times, they even said more happened. The presidency didn't want to let us know about it. Yes, we heard about that, but they didn't want to let us know about it, so it doesn't seem as if the administration of the president is porous. All of these things did not take place in Buhari's tenure when things were really bad. So they're attributing the current spikes because it's Tinubu or because it's the fact that he comes from a certain tribe. Is that the truth? Is that what it is?
No, but when Tinubu came and said he was going to continue from where Buhari is, and he said Buhari is him and he is Buhari, why would he be continuing? If he has denounced himself from Buhari, Nigerians should have known that, okay, he has a different policy for Nigerians.
Yeah.
But when he came, he said he was going to begin to start from where Buhari stopped. So Nigerians now see that, okay, what is that legacy the administration of Buhari left behind that somebody will be now saying, I'm going to continue from that legacy? Is there any? You look at Buhari's the chief law officer. He's the one today that we are now talking about 57 from him. That's corruption. Should that be anything that anybody should now be celebrating? I want to begin my own from where he stopped. Look at Buhari's minister for aviation. Look at the number of ministers under Buhari today that are before the anti-corruption agency. Even Ngige, who was minister for
investigation. Hadisirika, former minister of aviation.
Yes.
Well,
he has answering questions with the EFCC.
Yeah, but we haven't heard anything active as detailed.
Yeah, but he's going to have his day in court. So when you look at all that transpired under Buhari, and somebody is coming to now begin to judge that Buhari and say, I'm going to continue from where he stopped. That's where the problem began with President Tinubu's administration. If, as he's telling us that, the economy, he made the economy in a very precarious situation, one would have expected that he would still come and tell Nigerians that, come, all those that were corrupt under Buhari and whatever, I'm going to put them aside and make sure that the law takes its course. But when you are not like you are supporting what happened under Buhari's administration, Nigerians must not talk, because Nigerians didn't fare well under Buhari's administration. Buhari brought Nigeria into multidimensional poverty. Buhari made Nigeria to become the poverty capital of the world. Is that the person we should be celebrating? Yes, but if you had come and said, come, I know too well that the poverty is entrenched so much, and I'm going to do my best to make sure where that administration was completely a failure, that I'm going to rescue Nigerians out of it. Nigerians will announce, okay, let's see what he can do. But fast forward to even his own, even with the situation he met on ground when he said, the economy was not good, he began to talk of changing his presidential aircraft. If you are not telling Nigerians, okay, tie up your stomach, but you are not feeling fat, it becomes an issue. If he has had that sympathy to say, I'm going to work with you, I'm not going to put this. I have almost about 10 flights in the presidential flight. I want to start disposing some of them to revive the economy. Nigerians say, okay, this is a government that wants to work with the people. Let me tell you, as when Buhari, when IPOB overthrew the administration of the regime of Buhari and Diago, all those draconian laws that Buhari and Diago administration were using to all Nigerians into prison. Do you know what IPOB did? He came and abrogated them. Nigerians were like, oh, this is God sent. Go and read some of the newspaper clips.
At the time
IPOB took over. IPOB came up with a broad smile without his two gap and was telling Nigeria that he was coming with a difference. Yes, he removed all those draconian laws that were, hindering Nigeria during Buhari administration. He called that welcome. He called that acceptance. You understand? In fact, the biggest thing he had was the annulment of June 12. Otherwise, that man would have been a celebrity among Nigerian past leaders today. It was the June 12 that brought his name, erased his name out of, being a celebrity among Nigerian leaders. Because he had projects. He delivered on infrastructures so much throughout his administration. So when you now came in and like, oh, I want to first of all satisfy myself at the detriment of a country that the world said we are living in multidimensional poverty. That was one of his first failure of his policies. One would have expected that, okay, since you say you are a Democrat and you actually believe that Nadeco was fighting for the goodwill and the welfare of Nigerians over the years that Nigeria must live well, why did you toe the line of Nadeco? This president one can hardly believe that he was a member of Nadeco, because these are not what Nadeco believed when they were in the trenches fighting the military. Exactly, it's completely opposite of what Nadeco would have expected somebody like him having the opportunity to get to that the top post office in this nation. Now Nigerians are complaining that they now comparing his administration with military administration. I mean, it's an aberration, because this was exactly what they were in the trenches when they told Nigerians they were fighting the military. But today, the difference you can no longer separate, you can't see the difference now between his own administration and the military regime. But Nigerians can even bear it better, because we know that we are in the wrong regime. Military are not supposed to be in politics, but we can even bear it in the military, because we know, oh, this is a completely wrong administration. That is why we are suffering. But today we are not in democracy. 27 years, the suffering is getting worse. When we began in 1999, we were very hopeful. But I can tell you today, Nigerians are no more hopeful. Nigerians have become so hopeless that Nigerians are now committing suicide. And Nigerians are not, because out of frustration and means of survival is becoming too difficult. So this people were expecting that by now we'll be getting more dividend on this democracy. Then, because of where we are coming from, one will now begin to have more leverage and begin to talk of, oh, this is the reason why we fought for this democracy. Today, it's like Nigerians are even regretting why they fought for democracy, because we have not gotten the dividend as expected.
All right, Mr. Elvis Ademehene. So when it comes to campaign to the beginning, I think
19th of this month, yes.
And there are talks that the APC instead are the ones doing the campaigns. With the fact that they have released their attack dogs and they're pervading the entire space. They said this is their time. In 2023, it was the obedience that occupied the entire space here. But this time around, they've been able to supposedly beat them down. But the opposition has said no longer time for cho. Too much noise is no good. We have our own means of ensuring that things don't go the way that they are currently happening. Can the president do something between now and the post-election period that would make Nigerians understand that maybe he was working just some certain things and not just being put in place, but he knows what to do? What can he do to persuade Nigerians to believe otherwise?
After 3 years plus, we didn't get anything from him. What can he do in less than 6 months' time? We are in election next time. That's to tell you that everything.
What can you do in 6 months' time? Yes. Reduce your cabinet that is bloated.
Okay.
Yes.
Because of the election.
Cut off their salaries.
Even if reduce the cabinet,
all the ministries, all the money starts being accountable for all the monies borrowed.
Yeah.
Present data. Let's see. Okay, Mr. Mariano had said last month that there was going to be a tour of some of the projects the president has been able to complete. They're talking of the president's housing scheme, their amount and all. So we actually thought that by now we would have seen some of those projects on a tour on them. maybe they're waiting for some very critical ones that they could use for campaign to get completed. I'm sure you heard about the housing scheme across the 36 states of the Federation, which the administration had mentioned as part of its measures to provide housing for Nigerians. Do you think that's what they're waiting for?
Esther, have we not been hearing of housing scheme in Nigeria? How affordable are they? How affordable is a Nigerian worker that earns 70,000 naira? Can he access that housing scheme? Can he? But remember the Jakonde houses that we have in Lagos today, people who were not even earning as much, as little as 2,000, 3,000, then, 1,000 something, have houses in Jakonde estates. Why can't this government think of bringing up houses for low-income earners of this nation? At the end of the day, they tell you, okay, we have 36,000 housing scheme across the 36 states. Go and look at the people that have those houses. It's the same politicians that will buy them and begin to now sell it to themselves. So the housing scheme is just a fraud in this nation. The last time we have housing scheme that Nigeria can be boast of was the era of Jakonde, that Second Republic. Since that time, the housing scheme that you now hear that the government, tell you that they have so number of housing scheme, go and look at the buyers and the buyers of those houses. It is those people that are close to them and they themselves buy them and now begin to resell.
All right, let's look at the grand politicking. Atiku is going to the international scene this time around to make sure that he tries to denigrate whatever influence Tinubu has. So I'm sure you know he already has a lobbying firm.
Yeah.
The United States ambassador to Nigeria said they're trying to create a platform where Tinubu and Trump will meet. Now, the presidency has told us that he's going for the United Nations General Assembly. Is a meeting of Congress. I think is it in September?
It's end of this.
End of this next month again, exactly. And then they're trying to work and make sure that Tinubu has a meeting with Trump. At least there's a picture or a video of them having a conversation together, which could further heighten the need through which they can start having direct access to themselves. Now, the United States-based lobbying firm Von Batten Montague, all right, they have moved to stop any proposed meeting between President Bola Tinubu and the United States President Mr. Donald Trump at the upcoming United Nations General Assembly. So in a post, the Washington-based lobbying firm was reacting to comments by Nigeria's prominent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Jimoh Ibrahim. Right, the firm said it had forwarded the video of Jimoh Ibrahim's remarks to senior officials in the Trump administration. Now, Ibrahim, maybe he spoke too early. Maybe he shouldn't have said anything. Possibly they did not anticipate that those who are doing a battle of the best lobbyists would use that as a means to stop whatever meeting. Maybe it's a way to just see how he can please the president. I don't know. But Ibrahim, during a live television program 2 weeks ago, announced that the president was expected to hold talks with Mr. Donald Trump on the sidelines of next month's UN General Assembly. So the firm said it would share the material with members of the United States Congress and officials of the State Department, along with evidence that some of the agreement the Nigerian government has with the US has not been met, with the killings ongoing, all right? It added that it believes any meeting between Trump and Tinubu could be interpreted by some Nigerians as an endorsement of the Nigerian president, despite long-standing controversies surrounding historical court records in the US. So they're saying that let it not seem as if Trump has endorsed Tinubu. If he does meet, that the administration of the day will start broadcasting it and making it seem as if they've gotten an endorsement by Trump for Tinubu's second term. Is that something going to be possible for these lobbying firms to do?
Okay, that not to be able to meet.
They said they sent that interview to the United States Congress and all of those, especially Riley Moore, Ted Cruz, and the likes.
It's possible. It's possible, especially when you're talking of these drug issues he had in the US before now.
Okay.
Trump administration, really frown at anything that has to do with drugs. Let's forget about how Joe Biden managed that situation and allow things to go off. You understand? There's a new administration in the US now, and this nobody can predict President Trump. That's the issue. That's the matter. So it's very possible, Esther. But the issue there is, if President Tinubu is actually a serious president as expected, must you lobby to speak to meet your fellow president?
Yeah, they do that. A lot of these nations do that.
No, but if you have that credibility, you have that credibility from home, you are doing well from home, and your people can actually say this president is doing well. The president of the United States of America will open doors.
I'm actually still shocked that with all of the whole US intervention, whatever, the bombing on ISIS camp and all, that the president and Trump did not have a telephone conversation.
That's to tell you they are not even working together.
Because I don't understand how a Nuhu Ribadu could go to the US, have some conversations, solicit, speak with, and somehow there was no direct phone call between Trump and the president.
Yes.
Especially for such a, I would call that exercise by the United States government as some persons consider it an invasion. But it got international recognition.
Absolutely.
The international community was talking about it. They were even afraid that what happened in Venezuela is basically what was going to happen in Nigeria. And yet no phone call transpired. Because I know if it did, this administration would have talked about it.
Yeah, they would have, put it in as a propaganda. Let me tell you, that shows that almost everything Donald Trump is doing, he's doing it out of anger because he felt this government has disappointed Nigerians.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Donald Trump is doing what he's doing out of anger?
Yes, against this government.
Are you sure?
Yes, because
you think that man is concerned about anything?
No.
Or about himself?
No. They protect us that there is Christian genocide. And Nigerian Christians are going through hell.
You didn't think that was a diversionary tactics from what he's going through in his own government, in his own country?
That what is going through in those countries is not our issues. Because we are not going to be the one that, if at all his party is going to come back to power, Nigerians are not going to vote.
These are the same Donald Trump who lauded the president's wife at breakfast.
It's a different ballgame. Okay. Yes, you will agree. We can say that, okay, the presidential part of the lobby has started succeeding over there. But we are also seeing now that Atiku's lobby firm has also shown up their own now and said they are going to share videos and they are going to start talking to the US Congress.
Do you think all these things when exposed currently going on in government was deliberately allowed to be by two? Do you think it was deliberate? For example, the coup plot, the fake agency, a lot of secrets going on in Azovia. We heard a lot as to how this whole coup thing was planned, how the electrician, the kitchen member, everything. Do you think it was deliberately let out by this administration for Nigerians to get to know? Because a lot of things that used to happen in secret that we didn't know was exposed in this administration. So do you think it was this administration that allowed it to be exposed? Yes. Even the man that did all the investigation about the terrorists and everything, I think General Khalif or something, everything was exposed by this government. So all those things that were considered to be maybe a coincidence, do you think it was deliberately planned? Secondly, do you also think that to expose the sponsors of insecurity in this country, Tinubu is supposedly working in collaboration with the US, but doesn't want it to be like he went to seek their help. So the supposed sponsors from wherever they are wouldn't say, oh, it's you that wants to murder us. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So it's a way of making it seem as if, oh, my hands are not there, it's US. So should be people that write into US that you people are they're killing people in this country. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Do you think that's the idea? These are the kind of conversations we put out there.
Is the president even supposed to take side and say, oh, my hands are not in it? The president is supposed to.
No, I'm not saying he said so.
No, probably.
Okay.
The function of the president is to make sure that Nigerians are well secured and Nigerians live well.
Yeah.
So they should not even come up with that narrative. You understand, Esther? They should not even come, because it is the failure of what they are supposed to do that is throwing up some of this narrative. If Nigerians are not complaining, Nigerians are not being slaughtered daily, why would we have been seeing some of these things some of these international interference would have started coming in? It's because of what they read about us, what they hear about us, and the way these videos are everywhere on the net.
Because even the December 26th bombing, the Nigerian government did not say 25th bombing. It was the US government that spoke about it. We woke up in the morning to hear.
Yeah.
The Nigerian government did not make that announcement. It was like the Nigerian government did not know.
Yeah,
or
but
maybe they were told not to say something.
They were part of it. They were part of the intel and all that. You see, we have discussed this, that probably the government only heard from even the tweets.
The government just got to know that money.
They got to know. That's not what Nigerians believe, and that's what we are still believing. Because at the end of the day, we discovered that Nigerians could not even give details of what happened in that bombing. Then, fast forward to where we are today, Nigerians are calling for more, but nothing has happened. If there was,
they said they killed some of them. So
if there was, yes, if there was that much synergy that Nigeria is already part of it, Esther, I don't think that thing would have stopped. We are going to almost a year now, December, when since that happened. Nigerians, by now, if you take a voice pop, Nigerians will tell you they want to see more of that happening. Yeah, why do we say that? Because the insecurity has not abated since that happened. It became even worse. So what we are thinking that will not be a succession, to start in taking out this terrorists as expected. But it stopped. If they were actually in tune, Nigeria was actually have that relationship with the US government. That is not supposed to stop.
Well, Omayede Sowore has named the Office of the Accountant General, the Ministry of Finance, and Auditor General's Office as drivers of corruption. This was a conversation he had with Lockheed. Sowore said AI would detect abuses like pay one contractor 3 times and stop waste across agencies. That the presidency would focus on AI, blockchain, and decentralized banking, warning that digital currencies could soon make central banks incapable. So while he was mentioning these agencies, he says that these offices, as mentioned, that is the Ministry of Finance and the Auditor General's Office, are the drivers of corruption, and Office of the Accountant General. He says that these offices are largely responsible for corruption in the country, and that if he becomes the president in the next general election, his administration will deploy artificial intelligence to curb waste, tackle corruption across government institutions.
It's a good one. Everybody is talking of AI, but has he spoken wrongly? These offices he made mention of, are they not fingered in this fake agency, Esther? Look at the role they played in this fake agency. This one, they call the so-called fake agency, but for me, I'm not calling it a fake agency any longer because the court has not pronounced it as fake. Because Prince Adeyemi said he has his documents and he knows he's even asking that he wants to appear before the parliament to speak. So everything Sowore said here, I know it's right. For us to see this monumental corruption.
Do you think Nigerians are ready? Most times they call here, they complain. We are tired, we are hungry. The educational sector is debilitated. The healthcare sector is nothing to write home about, it's moribund. Things have escalated so extremely expensive, we cannot afford daily utilities, things that we usually are able to afford, we can't afford it. No more secure jobs, precisely. And the kind of jobs of businesses shut down. Business owners are now doing what you call hustler work or safia, that kind of a thing. And people can travel as they would like to travel across several states. Agriculture has gone down to a slim. Mechanized farming, as the presidency had supposedly introduced. Remember his friend? The presidency introduced us to his friend, Mr. Alex, from his college days in Chicago, whom he said was his neighbor when he was inaugurating about 2,000 or 3,000 tractors. Can you remember? And then Boko Haram came to say, let me see you guys use these tractors in the farms.
Tractors are gathering cobwebs now.
So are you saying that's a wasted effort?
It's wasted because tractors will only move to the farm when the farms are safe to work on. So people drive the tractor.
So, but that was a good initiative, wasn't it?
It was, but you see, it's like we are jumping the gun. Let there be security in the country so that when the tractors come in, they can be rolled into the farm to actually do as expected.
So you're saying that was wasted?
Yeah, no, the person that conceived that policy to bring in the tractor should have also spoken to the presidency that we need to tackle insecurity. But do you know what? That's where he's going to gain from. Bringing those ones in, importing them and bringing them in.
Yes,
Did they tell you how much was spent on one? So he knows that if this policy is light, he knows how much will come to him. So he will push for that because that is beneficial to him, but not to Nigerians. So those are the things we see in this government. The one that will benefit them, they worked so much assiduously for you to get it done, not the one that will benefit Nigerians. So it's like there are policy summons of Esther. What you are supposed to do, you are not doing it at the right time, then you are not modeling on those that are not going to be beneficial. So at the end of the day, you cannot push out the ones that are supposed to be for the Nigerians for Nigerians to feel, but you are now imposing the ones that are not beneficial that comes from you on Nigerians. And those are the ones you are not coming to see the statistics on television and newspapers. At the end of the day, these statistics are made. Okay, when those tractors were brought in, one would have been thinking that by now food sufficiency would have been what Nigeria should be talking about. We can feed.
This is good news. I mean, the Kwara state government has confirmed the victims abducted by Abner during the kidnapping in Kaimalaku government area. They regained their freedom. This was disclosed by the Special Assistant to Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak Olainka for Fuguni. They announced the release in a short WhatsApp statement today. They thanked the President and security forces for the rescue, while officials said more details will be provided later. About 176 of them.
Yeah, congratulations to those that are released, but the government still has a responsibility next time. Don't just release these people and make them just go back to their homes without doing the necessary things. These people should be compensated. Yeah, you know how many months they stay with the kidnappers in the bush? You know,
Very long time.
They don't have businesses any longer. You have to actually work on their psychology again for them to be like human beings, to be able to function well in the society. Unfortunately, we just hear this one and they'll be released, they regain their freedom. Then you are going to leave them to now begin to go and start struggling at their lives.
According to the WhatsApp message,
got that trauma, on them.
So the WhatsApp message is saying, breaking water, kidnap victims, regain freedom. Alhamdulillah, and kudos to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, security forces, and everyone who played a role in this huge feat. We are grateful.
Yeah, not just being grateful, thank God that they are back, but the government should take this step to make sure they are adequately rehabilitated to be able to function well in the society again. The trauma is too much.
They said there was one of the women whose child died because I think the camp she gave birth, somebody used their key.
Yes.
To cut the placenta.
Yes.
I think this is one of the daughters. If I saw the picture of the woman, she was like.
You can imagine such person now. Even if she's released, then how do you now carrying on with that kind of trauma on her?
Yeah.
She said she's completely depressed, and that kind of psychological trauma. The government need to have a very solid agency where these people can be debriefed of what they experience in this terrorist camp, so that they can now begin a new life and function as human beings. Imagine some of them, in their presence, their husbands and their children are killed. Then,
some of them raped.
Some of them are raped and all that. Then they are not brought back.
Stripped of every form of humanity.
In as much as we are celebrating that they are back, but the government still has a role to play to make them function again in society.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to get your reaction to the conversation today. And the number to call is 08036929933. 08036929933. The WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338. 0817-1756-338. That's the WhatsApp number, 0817-1756-338. And the number to call is 08036929933. Austin, can I have the phone, please? Thank you very much. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Esther.
Good evening, sir. Welcome. What's your name?
Ebuka from Ebeda.
Ebuka, well done. Welcome.
I don't come first.
Yes, so you're the first time caller today.
I greet you, most intelligent man. Good evening, sir. So it's not only very intelligent. Just say all Nigeria mind. I mean the good Nigeria people, not all those propaganda. So I want to just drop one of this thing. I want to confirm, does EFCC have the right to see the state's money, like project money? I just want to.
Is that true? Do they have the right?
They don't. It's intimidation. It's just intimidation. That money was allocated to that state too far. And what is it meant for? To serve the purpose for the people of that state. Why will they confiscate it?
They're saying the directive followed an earlier letter sent to the bank on April 15, 2026 in connection with an ongoing investigation. Osun State Government statutory allocation. The account number is out there. They put the account number there. and that the instructed the bank to place a post-no debit restriction on the account, which effectively prevents the state government from withdrawing or transferring funds from it. Why should that be coming now?
At this time, why? Okay, you said since April. Why did you not fast track the investigation in that April and do this? This is election of Osun State is taking place this weekend, this Saturday.
Can you imagine?
So and you are not suspending the account. Hey, I like
Hello?
my brother.
Sir?
Yeah, okay. And before then, this Osun State governor has complained about the allocation of
Yes,
the
not given to the state, being withheld. Yes.
My question is that can this thing happen in any state? Please, can this thing happen in any state? It's obvious that even the little child knows that who government is intimidating opposition. They are bullying opposition. Not only opposition, even people in the Senate and government. If you don't accept what they will bully you out of office.
Is this similar to OBJ and Tinubu's whatever?
Yeah, if this one is
was
look
no
at what
government
they
fund.
sorry to look at what
It was even
hello.
yeah.
Well, go ahead, sir.
Look at this Natasha, state of Natasha and Babatu. You know how all of them gather and this one is unfair.
Unfair. You don't hear the president say all is very one in politics.
No problem, oh. God will just help us in this country.
It's not God though. You're the one that will help yourself. Oh.
But I want to ask on say we get if we vote and vote later, what will we do?
Okay, bye-bye. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What is your name?
My name is Michael.
Michael, calling from where, please? Hello, Michael. It's in happen now.
Is it WhatsApp?
No, it's a normal call. The guy voice just changed like robots. No vex, Michael, please kindly call back. 080-3692-9933. 080-3692-9933. And the WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338. 0817-1756-338. That is the WhatsApp number. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello? Alright, let me take this WhatsApp call. Hello, good evening. Good evening, how are you? Welcome.
You remember what happened for Shad? When one man wants contest against our president, what happened for these children? How did they kidnap them?
What are you saying?
You remember what happened? How the man did say one big fly player and one party like that for 2027?
Are you referring to Sheyi Makinde, Governor Sheyi Makinde?
That has been Sheyi Makinde.
Okay.
But what happened to the children who they kidnapped? Today, they never do differentiation. Maybe no, they will put one.
They said they've already prosecuted those who organize the crime.
Well, end of the day, where they come, listen. Now, people who don't know this APC, they believe them. The APC say good money, look at it, it's not good money, it's evil. Because if you watch when they do things, you go know that they see what they say, ready for them, like they stand for APC. But when they are sure, one day come, will take over. Because this way they drink for people who want to try to contest against APC, you go know something happen. Okay, when did it happen for anything APC, like anywhere where APC they rule? Just show me anywhere where they will say they free the account or the do movements wey no fair. But if you say people who want contest get them, they go be crowd. But when they continue, I sure they want to. This will great end. Because nothing lasts forever. This power you have now, we cannot know it will be tomorrow. Our late president, what's his name? Abacha, where is it today? But make it continue. One day, must go back to no turn, come back. Arrest my case.
Alright, bye-bye. 08036929933. 08036929933. I would really love us to, as in, respond in context to the conversations we had. I think I started from the fact that what's the similarity between this administration, the ABC administration, to the Abacha days. That was one thing we looked into. We're also looking into, we talked about Bwala, who has spoken vehemently against this government and is now daring Rotimi Amici from exposing the secret conversation they had together against Atiku, which Rotimi said he was not going to say on national television. We now talked about what Senator Nwabani said as to how to curb hunger, that this administration has been able to provide an alternative through which nobody needs to rely on what is being given in the market, going to your backyard to farm. We talked about projects being executed by this government that they've used to clarify some of the developmental policies of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And we made a contrast to the freedom of expression compared to this administration and the previous administration, and even during Abacha's administration. So I would really love to hear your own reaction to these conversations that we had, all right, like in context, to what was discussed. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Esther.
How are you, dear?
Yes, I'm fine. This is Shola calling from Ebega.
Shola, welcome.
Yes, I greet your guests in the studio.
Good evening, Mr.
Well done, sir. See, Esther.
Sir?
This government is even worse, more than under Abacha. Sentiments aside. The cost of living, and even though we know that, economies of the world, things are getting, worse or something. But, okay, now, look at this. We say we are practicing democracy. What kind of democracy that comes with imposition? Democracy that comes with intimidation. And if you look at this present president, even right from when he was the governor of Lagos State, I made bold to ask, what are his achievements apart from making sure that Lagos State generates revenue? And it was even his tax consultant company. The projects being made in Lagos they were made by Fashola. Ambode for me is not above Tinubu. Can Tinubu be compared with the Jack Condes of people? Even Ambode, even Fashola, what he has succeeded in doing is that his own kind of democracy is mafia style. The only people that are benefiting from his government are the people that are under the mafia style governance, like the Agberos, like the GACs, he has his own settings of people. His government is elitist. So, and you cannot talk, even if you talk, they want to impose their own way on you. So, it's worse. Let me run by saying this, and there's a justification of Atiku going to lobby, because even this government is the one that started. I've not heard of governments doing lobbying before. Now they lobby. If they succeed in meeting Trump, I can tell you they will use that as an achievement again. And again, it will be an achievement for how the government of propaganda now, lies and deceit. They are going to use it. Do you know that even this release, not even rescue, of the Orihire, it was a release, not rescue.
Yeah, what
I heard
teacher
also
said, yes. He said that it was.
He said that it's a release. And even some of the villagers that restrict those people, one of them said, when they were happy, he said, it's to vote. To vote is the next thing. You understand? So these are things that we hate them. And Nigerians, one thing again, Nigerians, stop depending on others. If you only save yourself, Trump, this one, they have their own interest. Trump is transactional. You understand? The moment they meet, the best thing is that let Trump maintain that distance. If not, I'm telling you, this man will go away. He will go away with it. He will snatch it again and nothing will happen. Nigerians are the ones that will defend themselves. Let me rest my case for others.
All right, Shola, thank you for calling. Hello, good evening. How are you? What's your name, sir? Your voice is low. Peter, calling from where? All right, Peter, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Peter, can you speak out, like for real? I can't hear you. Yes, please raise your voice and speak. Go ahead.
I think that somebody can be delivered or can change when set up for them that president can never get because we get that with people we used to respect.
Sir, I told you to project. Speak up, please.
Can you hear?
Speak up, yes, speak up. You're swallowing your words. You said the way you used to what?
I said the way they enter here, not the way others are entering. Can never change. It can never change. I pray that it's only called down people get there.
All right, thank you very much. 0803692 9933 0803692 9933. The WhatsApp number is 0817 1756 338. Hello, good evening. Hello? What is your name? Yes, what's your name? Evangelist Humphrey, welcome.
I don't know why people are doing this. If people call it as that it's your work, what you say to is what you're doing. Because I was very annoyed with Shola when he made us the last time I said that it's the Chido and do it to the Kia. What type of statement is that? The spiritual control is the thing that you're doing your work. When you're putting it on, you're really obligated. Now, it's not the Chido that is really content. All the religion are not equal to the other. Most of them are very foreign religion. And we know foreign religion are very good because all the foreign religion are under the feet of the man. It's not the children that will make here. No water court. Put in heaven and decide water. People want to do it. Let Nigerians go their food. Without God intervention to children, it can't be done. Don't in a complaining that you say something wrong. You complain, they complain to God. I don't think everybody is complaining. If government don't want to change the differences, they can't tell them.
We, the Biafrans, reject the global conspiracy against the Biafran people. This comment uses media to demand unconditional release of the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, PM Simon Ekpa, who the Finland authority have held incommunicado for long now. They say they are investigating, and it's been months up to now. No charge has been brought against the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra. We hereby demand immediate release, unconditional release of the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. The global conspiracy against the Biafrans is unacceptable. We will never accept it. Doesn't matter how they try to paint it, the whole world is watching. And it is signed, and the law is signed, watching atrocities committed against the Biafran. PM Simon Ekpa is only asking for the freedom of the people. He's only defending his own people, trying to save the innocent life. Free PM Simon Ekpa now.
This is my weekend, this is my confusion.